both of these teams because we know when it comes down to the side of the points, both of these teams are quite neck and neck with one another moving on down the line. And as you can already see, 1 point away is going to be the side of Team Fans, and they're wanting to take this away. So this time around, Quinn, give us your thoughts on the group standings and where Team Fans lie and what they need to do to try and push themselves forward.
Normally, I'd say that Team Fangs is in a little bit of trouble, but considering a Troopers has a little bit of a point disadvantage, they are in sort of a safe spot. Not that safe as of now, but then they do have to, pick up that pace. Otherwise, they're going to be starting to like slip back down. And teams like Troopers, RG Academy, and Kuchby might start bringing it back up. Now, Troopers and the three bottom teams off the list are really, really good teams, and they have a lot of potential, but they don't have all the experience yet. And they need to work a little bit on that. And once they start getting that, and that is exactly what the TEC Gauntlet part WD Black and AV Reds Radio is for, isn't it? Like, you get that experience, you face off against these insane teams, and you start climbing up the ladder. So once these three teams get that experience and understand how to get that foothold and how to face off against these teams, Team Fangs might be looking at a little bit of trouble. But at the same time, Velocity Gaming and Enigma Gaming are just going to be riding the wave. They're going to be at the top two with 5 wins, 0 losses, having a clean streak, and they're having the time of their life, and they're really at a really safe spot. Samurai Esports and the Esports team, honestly, they're on equal stats. They are also at a safe spot, but then once Team Fang starts catching up, it is going to be a fight for the 4th position, actually. But other than that, yeah, honestly, the last 2 teams have to, pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But the pickup at the same time for the side of Team Kuchby, not something that they can really do at this point. They will be relegated because they have lost out on every single one of their matches. So tough luck coming on down from their side, but they of course have the second season to come back even stronger. But before we do head on down over to the MVP standings, Crips, do you have any thoughts that you would like to share about the group standings and what teams you are really looking out for? Because these 3 teams on the number 3, number 4, and number 5 position are neck and neck with one another.
Yeah, and I can't stop thinking about how high impactful this game is. Take a look at the score that Team Fangs have. If they win this game, they will not only overtake Samurai Esports, but also overtake the esports team. That's like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. So this is a very important game for Team Fangs. If they win this one, then they will definitely have themselves a significantly better position, not just today, but for the overall season.
I completely agree with that. And honestly speaking, let's head on down over to the MVP standings this time around, primarily because of one thing. In the MVP standings, there are 2 players already from both of these teams who are going to be fighting for that position once again. But this time around, since it's the Excali, he has fallen on off because of the recent match from the side of MW1. He's going to be taking the number 4th position. But still, we can talk about Cactus for sure. And honestly, Quain, you love this guy. So tell us what you think about him.
Honestly, once this guy starts activating himself and once he starts getting that fire in his stomach, sometimes he comes off and comes onto the screen. He goes in with his team. He has a little bit of a chill game. But once he starts getting that fire in his belly, he is a spectacle to be watched because he just starts going off. He just starts going ham on the field and he starts getting kills left, right, and center. And honestly, there's not much I can say about these guys because they're just like so good in what they do that I don't even have to say anything about them. Their stats are going to speak for themselves, and what they do on the screen honestly speaks for itself. Deathmaker, Rafa, Cactus, these guys are going to be household names really soon. They are already household names. And at the same time, I don't think it's going to be really hard to dethrone these 3 guys because the skills that they have, really top notch. Some of the best players in India right now.
Yeah, the MVP standings are always sought after. And honestly, we constantly see the number 4 position changing here and there every single time. But the number 3 spot always held down strong by Cactus. And he's now fighting to rise up the rankings and take that number 1 position. Because, hey, if he's able to get 2 MVPs right here and right now in these 2 matches, he's going to shoot on up almost immediately. But that's enough for the side of the MVP standings. Let's head on down over to the team spotlight. Firstly, coming on down from the side of Samurai Esports. And now, Crips, I want to hear your words. This team, they have proved a lot to us. And with their raw aggression, I'm pretty sure they're going to take everything away if the side of Team Fangs are not careful.
Oh, definitely. I'm really looking forward to see what kind of roles Sai and Excali play today. They usually pick up duelists, interchanging Phoenix and Jet among themselves. But the real man, in my opinion, who keeps this team all bound together is Blackhawk. I am so proud of this guy because I've seen him grow from 2018 from almost a nobody to now a superstar. And he is sometimes the guy who ends up hard carrying his team, filling out every role, be it entry fragger, be it lurker, be it the guy responsible for clutching out the most important rounds. He's the glue that holds the team together. And if it wasn't for him, then this team full of some really, really talented individuals would probably not be channeling all their aggression in the right direction. So I really believe Blackhawk is the backbone of the team. Of course, players like Sai Excali always have their moments, they always are in the spotlight, but I just really want to shine the spotlight on Blackhawk today.
Honestly, Blackhawk, he's like that driving force for the entirety of Samurai Esports. But at the same time, let's see who the driving force this time around is going to be as we head on down over to the player spotlight powered by AMD Ryzen Radeon. And now, Quinn, give us your thoughts because it's going to be Excali showing his debut down on the player spotlight board. What do you think about this guy?
Honestly, he deserves a spotlight. Excali is in a league of his own because really, like I said, the top three MVPs taken by Deathmaker and the others is really not dethronable. But Excali is just in such a good league right now. 221 kills, 178 deaths. The positive KD is still holding strong. That's not something a lot of people can say about themselves, and Excali can. And honestly, he shows it on the screens. When the match comes into play and when Excali goes out on the field, the audience knows exactly what Excali is, how Excali is going to be performing, and he gives us exactly that. Mostly, whenever I see him play that Raze, it is so fun to watch him play that Raze. Like any duelist for that matter. But at the same time, he plays a mean initiator. But nonetheless, he's basically that one guy who picks up a fight for your team. And honestly, if it comes down to that, he will destroy the opponent team if he can on his own.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Excali, he's one of those players that are extremely explosive, but at the same time, whenever he has a team on his side, whenever he has someone who can bring him a lot of those kills, when he can have that person to just set him up perfectly for those multi kills, he just goes from being top notch. He goes from being a top-notch duelist player to being absolutely indestructible. And this guy, I'm really hoping he's going to be able to bring his A game down to this match as well, because now we're going to be heading into the team spotlight for the side of Team Fangs. And honestly, Trips, take it all away.
Now, if you're comparing Kohli directly to Excali, I have to say over here that Excali would be a little bit of a more versatile player. The reason being, Excali, whenever he tries to go for entry picks, he's not the only guy who goes down there. His other teammates are also trying to get picks on the other part of the map. So you see, Samurai Esports has this really defaultish hold kind of behavior where they exploit both ends of the map. And even though Excali is supposed to be the entry fragger in one part, if his team ends up doing something really nice on the other side, then Excali turns into the lurk. So you see, he goes from being the entry fragger to the lurk in the matter of seconds, and he adjusts really, really well. Now, Kohli, by default, I mean, being an Astra player, he can lurk. Of course, Astra, having her abilities globally available, you can place them anywhere. His typical playstyle is that of a lurker, but can he pick up the pace? Can he pick up the frags like Excali can? Can he entry frag like him? That is the big question mark that I unfortunately don't have the answer to yet. But luckily for us, we won't have to wait a lot to find out the answer to those questions. We'll find out when the game starts.
Now, Quaint, give us your thoughts on Kohli because honestly, we always talk about this guy and you always talk about him. You love his Astra plays, so walk us through them.
Honestly, not just his Astra plays. So for an Astra play cell, you have to be a little slow, a little bit slower, and you have to be thinking on your feet and in the moment. And that is exactly what Kohli does. And when you're doing that, you know that an Astra player, if he's going to be playing an Astra really, really well, you know that he has the potential to become a good IGL. That is exactly what Kohli does. He holds the team together. He knows exactly how to execute a round. He tells his team what to do, and his team just goes in behind him, and they start getting frags. This is exactly why FANGS is as strong as they are. But nonetheless, they did have a little bit of a trouble before. They were having a little bit of turmoil. They were not being able to find their footing. They were losing a few rounds that they shouldn't have been. But now I'm seeing that improvement coming back. in the Gauntlet, the amount of improvement that I'm seeing from the side of Team Fans is just insane. And I'm not really sure why that is, but I'm very, very sure it is partially because of Kohli. Because that man, honestly, his big brain plays is so, so good.
I completely agree with you. Kohli just brings that extra level of flavor and that extra level of support down for his entire team that completely changes the flow of the entire matchup. And as we are going to be talking about the matchup, let's head on down over to the map reveal screen and see what the battleground for both of these teams are going to be. And let's all break it down map by map, piece by piece, because map number one, it's going to be Haven picked up by the side of Samurai Esports. And now, Chris, I want your thoughts on this map in particular, and what do you think both of these teams can be bringing on down to the table?
I really feel Samurai Esports, whenever they play Haven, they try to, execute something new every time, especially when they start on the attacking side. Because, like I said, these guys have a really good default, and it can be very difficult to counter in a map like Haven. Because Samurai Esports is the kind of team that overloads their opponent's brains with information. Usually, people lose matches because they have a lack of information or they don't know what's going on. That's not the case for Samurai. They overfeed you information, they misdirect you, they play with smoke and mirrors, and then you don't know where the actual hit is gonna come. And by the time you figure it out, it's already a bit too late. So I love that approach from Samurai Esports, and it really helps them to start on a map like Haven. I do believe that that kind of playstyle is possible on Icebox too, but because the rotations in Icebox are so long, then I think it can be a little bit of a deterrent to the default playstyle that Samurai Esports bring to the table.
I completely agree with you. This could just be a double-edged sword, but at the same time, it could work out in their favor. But for now, Quinn, give us your thoughts on the pickup by the side of Team Fangs as they picked up the map of Icebox in particular, a map which is much more based upon strategy, and it really does go against what the side of Team Fangs normally go for, much more aim-based and rush-heavy executions.
True, and I said this before, Team Fangs is a little more of that individual playstyle sort of team. But now that I'm seeing them bring it all back together and they're understanding how those individual potentials can be pieced together like the pieces of a puzzle, and they know how to use that individually and take control of map sets and do also well at all the maps. Now that that has come into play, I'm not really sure who's going to be winning out the first map, because although it was picked by Samurai Esports, it is equally a strong map for Fangs too, because I've seen them play on Haven. Haven is one of those maps which is very explosive. You don't really need to think much. You have those executes that you use to take side to push people back away. But then again, that is all in the moment. Yes, Astro smokes. Yes, a lot of those smoking characters do come into a lot of use. But at the same time, you don't necessarily need that. If you go in by Storm with flashes and everything, you can take side and you can play with the triple duelist setup. So both of these teams are really, really attack heavy. They're really aggressive. Samurai and Fang, honestly, they're, in my opinion, from their playstyles, they're the most comparable teams. And this is going to be really fun to watch because them two aggressive teams going up against each other means it's going to be an explosion of gunfire coming out onto our screens. And that is going to be my prediction for the first map. So I'm not really sure who's going to be winning, but we're going to be seeing a lot of gunfight. But on the second map, chosen by Fangs, Icebox, kind of an iffy pick because Icebox is not that, like it's not that sell down yet. You can go in for random plays and you can get away with it because the sites are also open and you don't have a lot of cover to hide behind. So you take a site properly and you manage to hold it down and you will get it back. But then again, if you go in as a defender and you manage to go in together, you can take it back. So again, that is a wild card sort of a map. So for both of these maps, for the first map, though, it's because that these two teams are so similar in playstyles. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But for the second map, the second map itself is such a wild card that I'm not sure what's going to happen. So I feel like it's going to be coming down to the decider to honestly decide for us who is going to be winning out this entire matchup.
Yeah, I completely agree with this. But it's probably going to be the end-all, be-all battleground. But at the same time, we know the track record of the side of Samurai Esports. We know how dangerous they can be. And if Team Fangs are not prepared for it, things could go horribly wrong for them at the same time. But hey, I always say this, we can speculate about it as for as long as we want. And I'm pretty sure at the very end, we're going to have like 100 different scenarios. And I'm pretty sure none of the scenarios are going to play out. It's going to be the 101 scenario that we didn't even really think about. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading on down over to the caster's desk real soon after a couple of short messages from our sponsors.
Hey guys, welcome back to TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WZ Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We've already gone through the analyst desk. Although I have to point out one thing, Kavant. You did mention that Icebox will be the wildcard map. I kind of think that Split will be even more of a wild card. It will be the wilder side, both these teams bringing out their inner demons and letting them run rampant. I feel like if we go to a third map, we probably will not see the end of the day because it will have a chance of going into overtime quite a lot of times. But before we get down there, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's just jump right into the agent selection screen and take a look at what's going on here.
Exactly. Now, off the bat, we are going to be seeing Kohli and Blackhawk going for those astral picks. And I did want to talk about this before, but I didn't get the opportunity to. Like, you mentioned how good of a player Blackhawk is, right? Like, what I appreciate him even more for is the fact that he plays Astra oh so well. Now, it all boils down to who's going to be playing Astra better because that is one of the most crucial characters in the entire game by now. That is at least, then again, it's my opinion. But I still feel like if you don't have an Astra, you don't have that pillar that you need because Astra honestly carries the entire team on this like huge marble slab on which the team is riding and then just firing their guns away on top of that. So she's like the perfect support character who can smoke from anywhere across the map, can concuss, gravity wells. Those are so beautifully usable. And Blackhawk, in my opinion at least, is one of the best Astra players in the country. But nonetheless, we're going to be seeing a Cypher also coming in from Ion. Really good pick on the map of Haven. We're going to be seeing a Maverick on Sova for information. Smoka is going to be going in for a breach for flashes. I'm not really sure how many of those flashes are going to be coming in. Because Crips, every time I've seen a breach come into play, right? Me and my co-cast are always seeing that we're going to be seeing like a blank white screen most of the time, but it never happens. That utility never comes out. Because I've commented on this so many times. I made so many jokes on this and I always expect it to come out, but it never does. I always get disappointed. Might be because of the meta change and the pricing changes, but not really sure.
I mean, that's the thing about jokes and flashes. It's all about delivery. Will they be on point? Will they miss? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into the game as we are going into map number 1 between Samurai Esports and Team FANGS. It's going to be Haven, and we have Team Samurai. These guys are going to be starting on attacking side. We've got FANGS on defense. Let's go.
Exactly. And after that, we have the player cabs back up and running, Crip, so that's gonna be fun to watch. Every time some insane play comes off, we get the opportunity to see exactly how they're gonna be reacting. And they got a nice little blue light setup going on over there. Gonna be loving that entire setup though. Yeah, I wish I had that, but nonetheless. We're going to be going straight in the first round of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Not even the day, I'm sorry, of the match. And we're going to be seeing a huge aggression coming in from the side of the attackers on the side of A, but not really sure if that is going to be crucial. I mean, you know, this is the first round of the entire map. It doesn't really matter. It all depends upon who's going to be getting the first frag first, and you're not going to be seeing a lot of utilities coming out. But nonetheless, Kohli's going to be proving me wrong. He does have a lot of utilities to play around with. Does manage to get a beautiful tap on one of the players over there, brings it down to a 3v4 situation. B2 is trying his best to hold the side off. If he does manage to get one kill, it will be really crucial for his team, but no, he's going to be going down to the hands of Blackhawk. 3v3 situation and a minute on the clock. A lot of time to play around with, and that spike is going to be planted by Wimp. Now, all they have to do right now is just play for after plant positioning, but any information given out is information FANGS is going to be capitalizing on. But nonetheless, Ion is hungry for blood, and he gets
what?
One! Boom it! and Wim just picks up his third kill. It's gonna be a 3K and a 2K. Just two players. I'm not even sure what happened over there. Crips, what happened there?
I think the rotations from FANGS was a bit too late. Like, they could see Samurai Esports coming from a mile away. They spotted all 5 players, and after getting spotted, it's not like Samurai went back or anything. They just straight up committed to these fights, and there were 2 people on the A side, which should have been a good enough setup to defend this. But I really felt like they needed backup, and they could have done so much to stop the plant from going on. Like, you had the shock darts come in, which went towards A short, I believe. You could have put down your fault line as well, and all of that disruptive utility could have stopped Team Samurai in their tracks, or at least given FANGS an opportunity to go into the site and disrupt them. That did not happen, so they end up paying the price for it. Samurai Esports were just completely unfazed by whatever Team FANGS was doing, and that's going to be the case this time around as well. Like I said, they're splitting up. We've got Excali down in the long corridor of A, and then we've got Sai hitting C. So these are 2 players on 2 sides of the map, and what a great combination. Gravity Well, along with the hot hands, burns him alive, and then Sai goes in to shoot the second one in the face. Unfortunately, Maverick will stop his killing spree, but they've got 2 picks so far. They have the advantage. They've tagged Maverick down to very low HP, and I think this is a good enough initiation.
Honestly, yes, but Blackhawk is going to be going down because those flashes and that concuss came in at the right time, and that meant that he was not going to be able to fend for himself. 3v3 situation right now, and honestly, FANGS could go in for that take, but I'm not really sure why they're going for individual frags, because if you go for that, you're going to be taken out individually too, because it's not even a 1v1 at this point. You're going to be going in for 1v3. There are still three players remaining on the board. You have to remember that. But nonetheless, FANGS are going to be going in for a 1v1 play. B2 does get taken down. That does hurt him a little bit. And Maverick is on 24 HP. He has to go in with his team mate. Otherwise, he is going to be taken out instantly. And they don't have a lot of time to pick up the frags. But nonetheless, a kill is going to be coming in. But Smoka is going to be picking up that trade. Gets a kill. Gets another. That is going to be a 3K on his side. Goes in for that concuss. Goes in for that tremor. And he's going to be trying to stick that. But no, he doesn't have that time. So he's going to be dying right now and losing his gun. And that does mean that Ion has a Spectre, and FANGS has a little bit better of an economy with them. They're going to be going in for a proper buy right now, but Samurai Esports might not. But okay, never mind, scratch that. Phantoms and Vandals, Crips, they're not pulling out any stops. I mean, they're pulling out all the stops, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I love it from both these teams. None of them really want to back down, and they want to get that advantage right here, right now. I like this approach from Team FANGS. It was a pretty expensive round for Samurai Esports. They lost 4 members, but there is one thing though. They were able to successfully sell the fake on C and then plant on A. If that trend continues in the buy rounds, then they are in deep trouble.
Ooh, that is the case, but then again, I'm not really sure what FANGS is doing because they're holding down the sites well, but it's just that the rotates are not coming in at the right time and it's taking individual frags. But nonetheless, Smoka is going to be showing me that individual frags are all he needs. Does manage to get a 2K, but then again, he's going to be taken instantly out, and it's all down to Coley to clutch the round out. 1 player against 3. We've seen miracles happening before, but then again, you got to remember that they have their guns too, and it's gonna be kind of hard to pull it off, and he has to go in for individual gunfights. He has to like get as much information as he can and just try to separate them. Just, you know, unity is better for Samurai Esports, and if he can manage to divide them, he will be able to take them down. But no, Sai just has a better positioning, which means that he's gonna be able to just take Coley's head clean off.
Yeah, you spoke about unity, and I have to point out, Samurai Esports keep on changing up the whole concept of unity. You see, in the previous round, when, you know, Samurai did not have much to lose, they knew they had the better economy and everything, they went in for a fake towards C, then they actually executed towards A. This time, they attack towards C, they take a little bit of time, but then instead of going A or changing their approach, no, they hit the C side from garage and the C long corridor. So they keep on switching things up. Sometimes it's a fake, sometimes it's an execute, sometimes it's a late execute. So how do you deal with this? FANGS really have no information to base their plays off of. But they do have a Vandal, and that's something to work with in an eco round like this.
True, and it is an eco run, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like it's gonna be an easy run for Samurai Esports, but we can never really say. Honestly, FANGS has a potential to put out a beautiful display of fireworks, and you could never really expect what they're going to be bringing out because they have the proper character selection to, you know, play really strategically, block out vision at the right time. going for those executes, going for those takes, and just keep Samurai Esports confused. And like I said, Smoka is going to be holding that angle, but he just walks away at the most opportune moment. Does mean that Wimp is going to be picking up that kill on B2 because B2 had no information to work with. And honestly, that's kind of an F moment over there, Chris. Like, not much that he could do.
Enemy remaining.
And he had no idea either. He did not know that he would be setting up his teammate for such catastrophic failure by just 1 second. And it's so unfortunate when that happens. But hey, I mean, they can take solace in the fact that this was an eco round and they were never supposed to win this. Sure, they could have caused a lot more damage and maybe Maverick can walk away with that Phantom. Maybe force a couple of Samurai members to drop their guns and decent enough eco round. They took off 3 guns, forcing 3 of the members of Samurai to reinvest, especially in a round where everyone's just forcing up weapons, and it kind of does put Samurai Esports on a little bit of a back foot, but the amount of rounds they've been winning, it kind of makes up for all the weapons that they lost. But then again, this time, whenever they know that FANGS is on a little bit of an eco, they go for these fakes. So that's what the trend has been for the last 4 rounds. In the pistol round, they commit. Then in eco rounds, they fake. Third round, they went for a full commitment once again when they both were on an equal, economic advantage. Then again, it's a fake. What will it be this time? Because Samurai Esports are heading down towards the A side, and they're not making it any bit of... they're not keeping it sleepy. They are going fully in, and there's nobody to stop them either. There's only one person in heaven who won't really be able to do much. So they're gonna give up this site, and it's gonna be a 5v5 retake. Unless this Hunter's Fury can stop the plant, and while these guys are busy dodging, they can do something. Oh my goodness. But that Hunter's Fury will go along with a nice rolling thunder, allowing the members of Team FANGS to pour right in, but Samurai Esports is unfazed. They are not affected by the utility, and they end up winning the fights. Samurai Esports now have an advantage, and they've got the spike down as well. The shock darts won't do enough damage, so this should be an easy retake for them, especially when Smoker manages to turn it into a 2v2. He's trying to crunch around from shot, but Wimp will take care of him, putting Maverick in this clutch situation. He's got the recon dart, he's got the utility, but doesn't have enough HP as Blackhawk is just tapping away at him.
Honestly, Blackhawk, the guy, I don't really know what to say about him, because not only is he a really good Astro player, he just does such a beautiful work with his Phantom and Vandals. Like, he's so good with that gun gameplay and with his Astral smokes at the same time. So you don't even need anybody else. You leave Blackhawk alone with 5 players and he is gonna dominate. But nonetheless, FANGS are putting up a good fight. But yeah, like you said, they're being a little uncoordinated, and I've seen this happen on their side before, but I had seen a changed FANGS before. Like, when they mean business, they mean business. But nonetheless, at the same time, this is a map of Haven, right? It is a little attacker-sided, in my opinion, because you have 3 sides to work with, and you can go in for instant rotates, and the defenders will be just left guessing as to what is going to be happening or what is happening at the moment. So yeah, Samurai Esports honestly have it a little bit better, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're more composed, they're more calm, and their mid-round decisions really, really pay off dividends on more than one occasion. This time, though, Team FANGS are a little bit tired of letting Samurai have all this map control, so that's why they're proactively hunting for information. They spotted a player outside of C. They know that there's Sai and Excali on A, but do they know that there is a player inside B as well? Yes, they deal with him, but as soon as they're busy dealing with that, Excali breaks open the A side. Should be enough for them to take that under control. And this is what is so difficult to deal with for Samurai Esports. They keep on throwing all these defaults at you, and you never know where the real execute is. Sai is so deep inside enemy territory, I don't think anyone will check for his angle. The timing, no! Coley walked right past him! But it's okay, he'll deal with it. He'll get the kills nonetheless. Should be able to finish him off as well.
This is such a, beautiful show of skills. Like, Samurai Esports, like you said before, they just throw information at the opponents, and the opponents honestly expect less. They're like, you know what, we're probably not going to be getting information, which is why we've got to be going in for that hunt. And FANGS is exactly that kind of a team. They go in for the hunt, they are super aggressive, they get all the information that they can, even if it's not using utilities. They go in individually, even get
exactly.
Understand. That is the problem, though. Like, if you keep doing that, Samurai Esports is gonna be shutting you down. But at the same time, Samurai Esports, when they're taking a side, like you said, they just spread themselves out so much that FANGS never knows where they're coming from. Because I don't know if you noticed, but Ion was all the way over in C, and he was coming in with that rotate. It was coming in with that flying. He got taken out at the most inopportune moment, but that plant had already gone down. The spike had already been planted, and FANGS could only do a retake, and they doing it so individually, they can't take it back. But look at that, Cactus is gonna be proving me wrong. He's just gonna be shutting down an Excalibur off the bat, but he gets 1 kill. He's gonna be good for 1 kill, but that also means that they're gonna be 1 player short. It's a no harm, no foul sort of situation, and honestly, for the defense, it's worse because attackers you can do with fewer people, but on the defense, you need as many people as you can to hold the sights down and go in for the retakes.
Yep, that's true. And as soon as I say that, FANGS, he takes the advantage. He doesn't just bring it back to a 2v3, but now a 2v4. Good stuff. FANGS, they're doing a pretty good job of pinching Samurai Esports down in this area. And the lockdown will actually force the remaining members of Samurai Esports straight into the crosses of Maverick. Blackhawk will deal with them, and he's now created an opening. He can highway towards the C and the B site. And he's got the Cosmic Divide as well. Unfortunately, no more stars to use it with. So he's probably gonna have to face this 1v3 all by himself using nothing but his Phantom.
But at the same time, it's Blackhawk we're talking about. He might just leave the spike, go down long, go all the way with the flank, and start just backstabbing them and start pincering FANGS before they even know it. But like you said, he doesn't have stars to play around with, so he's kind of just relying on his Phantom. But I've seen this guy pull off miracles. But at the same time, little does FANGS know that he doesn't have the stars, so they're just assuming those Astral stars to be coming in at any time now. But Blackhawk, no! He turns around at the wrong time, and that means that Vito is going to be getting that kill on Blackhawk. Beautifully done by FANGS over there, but at the same time, unfortunately, you know what, Blackhawk? F, man. You just had to turn around at the wrong time. It happens. Honestly, you can't clutch out every situation, but you gave it your best shot. But FANGS, that is going to be the first round onto the board for them, Crips, and I hope that gives them the confidence. They have the economy going on. They have what it takes to, they have the money to buy the guns, but I hope they get that confidence to get the ball rolling and start getting the rounds back. Because as much as it is a little bit of an attacker-sided map, you can, if you use your utilities properly, fall back at the right time, and go in for really good retakes, it is kind of a defender-sided map at the same time. It's kind of like a wild card map, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is the wildcard map. Although I have to point out, I was not a big fan of the way that FANGS was going in for that retake. Even though it's a 1v3, they all went in individually. Now, Blackhawk was unfortunate. He looked away at the wrong time. But imagine if he was able to isolate those 1v1s. He would have been able to clutch this. This time, though, 2 ultimates have been committed. They're using the run-head back, hoping that Sai will be able to get deep into enemy lines and maybe pick up a kill. But that won't happen. Unfortunately, though, Blackhawk has gone down. The only silver lining over here is he put down his Cosmic Divide before he did, so he's done his job for the round. But this 4v5 retake does look doable for the side of FANGS.
Honestly, but at the same time, Kohli has his own Astro too. He can put up his own stars, he can put up his own smokes and show us that, yeah, you know what, Blackhawk is not the only Astro player over here. And Cactus, being the aggressive player that he is, gets a kill on Wimp with his showstopper, gets another, and the rest of FANGS are just going to be coming there to support him and pick up those frags one by one, shutting Samurai Esports down. Samurai Esports honestly went in for a good execute. They went into that Cosmic Divide, but they didn't have that Astro to work around with. But like I said, Blackhawk is such a main part of the team because once he dies, it's really hard to work without those smokes. It's really hard to work without that vision being blocked because then you're just like sitting ducks, especially on a map like Haven, where once you take side control, and especially with C side, you're just exposed so much. Once the attackers come in, it's just an easy frag game if you push it together. But that's the thing. FANGS is not doing that as much as I would like them to. And even at the beginning of the entire round, they're taking really aggressive angles that they should rather be avoiding. Nonetheless, we're going to be going into the next round to see what is going to be happening. And a huge aggression is going to be coming in on B side from the side of FANGS over there, from the side of Samurai Esports over there, I'm sorry. And they do get a spike plan, and they're going to be just eating out of that side, just waiting for FANGS to come in. But Cactus knows exactly where Wimp is. Wimp is going to be tagged down to 8 HP. He has to pick up the slack, he has to pick up the kills, but Sai is going to be trying to help his brother out. But no, it's going to be taken out by Kohli. All Wimp can do right now is wait for certain death, as he didn't have that angling to get the kill, and he was going to be taken down. Blackhawk, however, is going to be activating himself, gets a kill over there. Excalibur with his Blade Storm is looking for a kill. Tasman to get us a kill on Smokeoff. A beautiful kill on B22. Is just going to be not respecting that Nano Swarm over there and goes in for that kill, but he's going to be paying the price for that, as he's going to be taken up by Kohli. And a beautiful clutch coming in from the side of FANGS over there. But at the same time, Crips, again, it's a little too out there. It's a little too just spread out. And although Samurai Esports took that by storm, I don't know why they're doing that. Because if they take it a little bit slower, it's going to be really hard for FANGS to keep up with where they're going to be positioned.
I love the way how Team FANGS was able to pick up all those kills on the backlines. They crunch in from the A side and clear up the entire spawn side so that all the players who are waiting outside of B from Samurai, they have nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide. And as soon as the players died on spawn, then Excali and Sai, they were forced to go towards the A-Link and the C-Link respectively because they had nowhere else to go. Oh, but this time they will be forced yet again as FANGS, they're looking to push the envelope, but they get destroyed. Excali, IonQ, Blackhawk, all of them pick up kills. And this early aggression towards the A side ends up gifting the entire area to Samurai Esports. It's a free spike plant.
Honestly, but it's all B2 and Maverick can do right now is just play for information. They are a Sentinel and an Initiator, and B2 does have his Recon Dart, but as I'm saying that Recon Dart is not going to be coming into any use because he's going to be taken out by B2. I'm sorry, B2 gets taken out instead, and that turret is not going to be coming into any use right now. Maverick could go in for that 1v4 clutch. I've seen miraculous clutches happening before Crips, but I would rather go in for that save because the economy is good, but still, like, you could just go in for those last few exit frags, just get those final few exit frags and just, you know, call it a day. But at the same time, Samurai Esports are going in for really good executes, but FANGS, they're holding way too aggressive of an angle for a defense side. Like, you're supposed to be defensive. That is the entire point of it being a defender side, you know, the side of defense. You know, you're supposed to be holding down side and waiting for them to push in, just playing out a little game of hide and seek and not giving out information at all. But nonetheless, FANGS, they managed to get the rounds back, but I'm not really sure to what extent, because Samurai Esports at the same time, once they go in with the storm, once they go in with that blast and come in with that explosive gameplay, FANGS is not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, and I don't know what it requires for them to keep up. FANGS keep on... I don't know if they keep on doing it, but they're definitely trying to do it. With varied amount of success. They keep on trying these aggressive plays where they go right in. Sometimes it pays off dividends, sometimes it doesn't, but I am feeling hopeful for Cactus. Unfortunately, it's caught in that trap fire, but nothing to break. It gets concussed, and he's about to get pre-fired over there.
I know.
Yep, there you go. And he got taken down by IonQ too. That means he's given away the position of all his teammates, and Excali jumping around like a bunny. Hits him square in the face, and aside, he is relentless too. I have no idea how Excali was able to pull that off. That was ridiculous.
At this point, they're playing individually, using the smokes, but they're playing so beautifully individually. FANGS is being a little too spread apart, and they're not being able to keep up. It's all up to Kohli right now to get at least one kill before he goes down, but no, Ion is going to be picking up that kill on Kohli. But Crips, I want to talk about how FANGS is not being able to keep up with that entire randomness coming in from the side of Samurai Esports right now. Because normally, Samurai Esports doesn't go in for a random play, and if you look closely enough, in that entire chaos, there is, you know, order. There's order in that chaos. They're going in super hard. They're going super strong. They're playing to their individual talents. They're playing with their individual abilities. But at the same time, they know what is happening on the other side of the map where the rest of their team starts. And that is what FANGS is not understanding. And they're being way too confused as, like you said, Samurai Esports is just overloading them with information.
This time, it was not an overload of information. This time, it was just an overload of players. There's just so many players in front of your crosshair. Who do you even aim at? Sai coming his run it back, going all the way from B to A. Rig, look how deep inside enemy territory he is. And this gives them a plant on the B side. Just 10 seconds into the round, and we already have a 5v5 retake. Wimp is going to be responsible for shutting down all the aggression from A side, and he knows it's going to be coming because this happened in the previous round as well. Wimp knew it, and he was prepared for two of these players. Unfortunately, not the third, but he's done his job, still getting an advantage for his team. IonQ will finish off what Wimp started, and finally B2 will shut him down. But still, Samurai Esports have way too much of an advantage right now, and they've got so much room to work with. That lockdown does basically nothing. It's a completely useless lockdown because they can still defend this site unless they've got a couple of smokes to shut them down. Nope, they don't have that either. They can still get those kills. Excali will be forced to peek them on the back of that Hunter's Fury, but there's no time. It's that's an F moment right there.
Exactly. Like, it's not even that FANGS is doing anything wrong. The problem is the map is kind of, you know, a bit out there, a bit too open. So whenever you go in for explosive playstyles, it sometimes pays off, and that is exactly what FANGS was trying to do. But honestly, FANGS, you do them more on the attacker side and less on the defense side. So Samurai Esports was good on their side to like go in for aggressive play. They were playing it a little slower in the beginning, and FANGS was trying to take advantage of that by being super aggressive in the beginning, like just holding really aggressive angles. That paid off on a few rounds where Cactus was able to pick up a few kills, but that is all he could do. Once Cactus went down, Samurai Esports is rushing his side, and they found that those sides were just left empty. Maybe 1 or 2 players were there. They were easily taken down, and the retake scenario had been always set up with a lesser player, roster on the side of FANGS, and that's nothing that is going to be really detrimental to them, because you can't really play around against Samurai Esports on a 3v5. You need all the strength that you need, but nonetheless, we're going to be seeing that switch up coming in with Samurai Esports playing on the defense. Wimp trying to get as much information as he can over here on sewers, knows that there are 2 players there, knows that he has a fallback, and give the call out to his teammates. He hears all of the stars coming in, and he's like, oh no, that rush is going to be coming in. Please help me out, guys. And that rotate is going to be coming in, that backup is going to be coming in, but that doesn't really matter because, oh no, Wimp is going to be holding a really aggressive angle. Does get taken out by his nemesis, the Sova, and it is all down to a 2v5 already. The spike plan is going to be coming in, and it is all up to Xgali and Blackhawk. 2 gods, mind you, they could honestly take it back, but at the same time, you are only human. There is only I kind of contradicted myself over there. I did say God, that at the same time you're only human, but at the same time Blackhawk is gonna be trying for that clutch. There's a good crossfire set up by FANGS over there, but no, still individual picks. I'm not really sure why. That gives Blackhawk yet another kill. 2 AK Crips where he should have been getting only 1.
Yeah, and this is not the first time they were offering individual 1v1s to Blackhawk. Remember that 1v3 situation where he was trapped without any stars? Yeah, if he did not look away the worst time possible, he would have been able to clutch that one out as well, because they were coming in from 3 different directions. And these are the kind of mistakes that FANGS kind of need to avoid right now. If they are not able to fix this in the buy rounds, the one round where it does matter, then you're going to have your economy broken, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Regardless, I love that execute from Team FANGS. It wasn't supposed to work because there's 3 people ready to stop them from Samurai Esports on the A side, but they still got all the kills, and hey, it works, it works. This time they get an opening pick again, and this one's on C. So B is currently open. Like, there's 2 on A, 2 on C. Both the defenders of Samurai Esports split up 2-2, with B side being completely open. But they're committing towards the A side instead. Sai a little paranoid about people coming in from short, but it's not a hot answer. He doesn't get flanked, but sees 3 people at the same time, and he sees God too. Oh, Cactus trying to bite off a little more than he can chew, and Blackhawk will finally punish him for it. But can he pull off this 1v3 again?
That's the Marshall.
Yeah, it's kind of comical how many 1v3s he's found himself in. Again, with no stars.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he knows how to play passive at the right time and how to play aggressive at the right time. But the problem is he just gets caught off guard. You can't really do much about it. And then again, he's the Astra player, Crip. So you can't really be that aggressive with Astra in the first place. So he tries to go in for a little more of a passive play, which is why he's always the last man standing. And again, he's going to be going down to the hands of Kohli. The other Astra going like, you know what? I don't want to copy on the field of myself. And he just goes in for that kill. 5th round on the board for Team FANGS. They're looking super good right now. And like I said, sometimes you just start switching it up on the other side. Sometimes you just feel yourself on the attacker side. And Haven is a map in which attacker side is favored a little bit. Because once you get that information, you can't really do much about it. Because those openings are wide enough for the attackers to like push in full force. And if you start doing that, which FANGS is doing right now, Samurai Esports honestly has to fall back and retake the sites. But they're not doing that. They're just giving away their bodies so easily. They're going for dual picks and they're going for dual frags, but at the same time, they're being taken out. But as I'm saying that, a frag game is going to be coming into play right now as Xgali and Ty manage to pick up a couple of kills for themselves, meaning that it is going to come down to a 3v5 situation. But Kohli over here has the sneaky little guy. It's going to be having the spike, but he turns around at the wrong time and it gets taken out. Oh my god, Xgali is going to be completely flash, and Smoka is going to be taking advantage of that. Takes that clean kill beautifully. B2 over here getting a kill for himself, brings it down to a 2v3 situation. The spike is still in the hands of FANGS, and they have a lot of time to play around with Crips. They could go to any side at this point, but you can't really move without giving out information at this point because they're being pincered by Samurai Esports right now. The player disadvantage is on the side of FANGS, and B2 is going to be coming in to help his partner out over there. He's going to be setting up his nano swarms. to just clear out the site so that he doesn't have to do that with his own gun instead. Now, the thing about this situation right now, Crips, is that Samurai Esports is well aware of the plan that is going to be imminent at B.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah,
30
they
seconds
knew
left.
everything right from the start. That nanostorm grenade did absolutely nothing to help his team. In fact, it gave away their positions, which is even worse. Now with 20 seconds left, he's getting surrounded in every direction, getting revealed from both the sides, concussing at the wrong time, and it's just a painful death. I love the way how Samurai Esports reacted in this round. They had a very aggressive start when they sent the two duelists down in A sewers, and as soon as they got the man advantage over there, Excali fell right back and went towards the B site. They knew exactly where they are leaving the places open, where they are reinforcing stuff. Like, the two people on the sewers definitely keeps A safe, but it comes at a cost. It comes at the cost of the B side being open. So Excali went right back there because he knew that that's the only place where FANGS can exploit him. And he was right about it. Unfortunately, he did get taken down. That's a different story. But he was able to come there in time, help his team out. And this time he helped his team out yet again, winning the opening duel. And he's got Sai to back him up as well. Two people, they're trying to fight over here. And they will try to fall back. The Cloudburst saves both of their lives. And they get away with murder.
Honestly, yes. And that was beautifully timed by Excali over there. Saved both of their eyes. But anyway, they're going to be capitalizing on that. Excali gets a kill, but Kohli is going to be spraying both of them down, and it's just going to be shutting them down at the same time. They shouldn't have been taking that double peek at the same time, and that cost both of them their lives. It could have been just one soul, but instead of that, both of them are going to be going down. But at the same time, an equal frag game has come out from the opponents, has come out from the side of Samurai Esports, which is why we're going to be seeing a 3v3 scenario right now, but 50 seconds left on the clock, Crips. They're playing with time too much, and they're playing with time so hard that it is almost like playing with fire. And when it is a player like a Blackhawk holding a site down, you can't really get as, the information that you need, because those smokes will always keep coming in, and you'll never know where to push in from. And speaking of pushing in, they're all huddled up on a lobby over there, and that explosion is going to be coming in with an ultimate from the side of Breach, and that is going to be paying off because Maverick and Breach over there are just going to be picking up a couple of kills for themselves, bringing down a 1v3 situation. For the first time, poor little Ayan has been left alone to clutch out the round, and it is not going to be Blackhawk anymore.
We've seen Blackhawk in clutch situations way too many times, but not Ion Q. Although, there is something that he can do. If he can get some exit frags right now, he will make stuff difficult for Team FANGS. Because going in the next round, they will have enough money, but then they will have to sacrifice a little bit on the other things, like maybe, let's say, utility. Maybe Kohli won't have all the money to buy the stars yet again if he loses his Phantom and Heavy Shield right now. So, yeah, that's a little thing that IonQ can do, and luckily for him, all three players are heading in his direction. Either way, there is a silver lining for Team Samurai Esports. They've got 3 ultimates available, and 2 of them are offensive ultimates. We've got the Blade Storm, you've got the Run It Back, and given how aggressively Excali and Sai have been playing, I think they will pop these ultimates in this round and try to get the advantage back in their favor.
I'm not really sure how they're going to be going about it though, Crips, because last time it was an A side and they went in for a double peek. If they do the same thing right now, it might play out to their advantage because Sai is going to be having his ultimate, right? So if he dies, it doesn't really matter. He gets that information and he gets that distraction factor going on for the side of FANGS, and they're not going to be understanding who to shoot. Excali is going to be taking advantage of that. They might be able to take it off, but they at the same time have to be popping their ults at the same time. And like I said, Excali is going to be popping his ult. He's hungry right now. He's searching for kills, but he's got to be patiently holding that garage position, because he knows just how crucial that garage position is. Once that position is given out, BNC sites are just given, and he just comes out with a storm and takes Cactus clean out. Now he has to get another kill. He's hungry for kills, but he also knows that he has 14 HP and he has to be falling back. That is exactly what he's going to be doing. He's going to be using the wiser option and just falling back. Sai is going to be holding up the rest of the storm, the rest of the cavalry, by using his hot hands and just not letting them push into that garage position anymore. But at the same time, Kohli and his teammate Maverick over here are trying to take a little bit of control on the side of B, but that is going to be denied by Blackhawk, who's like, no, you're not going to be seeing anything through that smoke right now. So at this point, FANGS is going to be a little bit confused because they don't really know which side to commit to. But can we talk about that sneaky little flank by Ion over there? If he manages to catch a few people off guard, it is going to be game over for the side of FANGS, because they're going to be going in for a flank onto A side, and no! Off the bat, Maverick is going to be taken off with a beautiful one tap with that Blade Storm over there. That was so crisp, so clean, and I'm hoping to see more, but Blackhawk is going to be picking up this Slack instead, and he gets a kill on B2, and Wimp is going to be following suit, getting that kill on Smoke, putting the 11th round onto the board for the side of Samurai Esports, who are looking super strong right now. And yeah, just because of that, we're going to be seeing a timeout coming in from the attackers. FANGS is just like, you know what, guys, we got to get our stuff back together again. Otherwise, Samurai Esports is going to be going into that 12th round, that match point, and once that comes into play, it's going to be hard for us to bring it all back, you know?
I know exactly what these guys are discussing in this timeout. And oh my goodness, you gotta point out how lovely Samurai Esports have been. They're playing into their minds. They're getting real estate inside their heads. All right, let's break it down. We've seen Sai and Excali push down the A sewers and A long time and again, right? This time, when Team FANGS tries to go and feel things out towards Garage and mid, they still got 2 players watching the flank on A. They still have 2 players watching for that backstab because they're just so paranoid that Samurai will come push them. That push never came through. They spotted Sai, they spotted Excali towards Garage. And then they're like, hold on. If these 2 guys are here, then this A side should be relatively unguarded, right? Right. They were correct about that part. But what they did not see coming is that flank from Ion Q. So they feed misinformation to Team FANGS. Team Samurai keeps on pushing A like 3, 4, 5 times in a row. And then all of a sudden, they go for a switcheroo. And Team FANGS is left completely dumbfounded and out of their depth.
Exactly. You were so right, Crips. I could not have put it better myself. But it is also so much due to Blackhawk using those Astral Stars at the right position.
Yeah, that's
sometimes you can like give out you can give out fake information at the right time, and you'll just keep FANGS guessing. Like those stars are so powerful that you honestly can't really do anything for it. But Coley over here is gonna be picking up that kill on Ion off the bat on C long. That is gonna be putting the player advantage on the side of FANGS. But Excali being super cheeky, and Bloodlusty is gonna be going in for a kill. Does get Maverick, but pulls out the wise choice and goes back. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna get too greedy. I'm gonna be playing with my team from now on, because if I go down, my teammates are gonna be swearing at me for that. They're gonna be like, why did he go away and give yourself out? If you did that, we're not gonna be having that player advantage. We're not gonna be able to take it back anymore.
No.
But, oh no, I don't know why Cactus didn't expect that heaven position to be guarded. And Wimp is going to be taking the fullest advantage of that. And that was a solo push coming in from Cactus. Like I said, FANGS is going in so solo that it's not even funny anymore. All Samurai Esports has to do right now, not even play with their utilities. Just take individual frag games, Crips.
Yeah, and Samurai Esports also go in for those
30
split
seconds
pushes,
left.
but it's never solo. There's someone or the other guarding them, maybe for a trade, or maybe they put down the stars using Blackhawk, and that's how they're able to split push so effectively. I just don't see FANGS replicating the same thing. And now with only 10 seconds left, all that Blackhawk needs to do is place down one, pull it back, or I don't know, one shock dart just to stop them from planting. And that's exactly what they're doing. The shock darts destroy them. Wim gets another one. Excali doesn't mind sacrificing his life because he knows Sai got his back. And that's what happens when you spend too much time trying to get into a site, but then execute with like 10-20 seconds left. You're forced to commit to the plant. And you can put down those predetermined lineups, predetermined shock darts. I'm pretty sure that Blackhawk would have put down a star as well over there just to, you know, pull them or stun them to stop them from planting or something like that. That kind of stuff tends to happen when there's like 10 seconds left and the bomb hasn't gone down. I'm surprised it didn't come through, but the shock darts did. So yeah, with that, Team FANGS are completely out of their depth and they are pushed against the wall. They have to pull out the desperate measures. They use 2 ultimates, the Cosmic Divide and the Showstopper, to get into the B side, but it doesn't help them at all because Sai with a well-timed curveball does get the better of him, and he doesn't have any repercussions to face because it was just a fake double body. Just one man remaining, and it's B2. He's trapped down to 6 HP, hunting down. And it's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. Team Samurai Esports win this game pretty convincingly.
Honestly, and beautifully done by Samurai Esports over there. Just congratulations and hats off to you. Kudos. But FANGS, I love what they do, and I love that they're improving, but they're not being able to read through all the bamboozled plays coming in from the side of Samurai Esports. They're going for good trades. They've got the right idea. They've got the right mindset. but they're a little bit later on their execution and they're paying heavily for it. But let's look at the scorecard for right now. Because honestly, look at Excali up there. That guy was just having fun today. It was just like flying around the map with a phantom, not even a blade storm. It was just in the air with a phantom, just getting kills left, right, and center, Crips.
Yeah, and Samurai Esports were able to win this game pretty easily. Excali, Sai, everyone stepping up, even Blackhawk. He did find himself in quite a lot of flood situations, which did not really go his way. But even in those situations, he did what he could. He pushed down Team Fangs against a wall, pinned them down, and they were able to win pretty convincingly. If I had to sum this entire game up, I will have to agree with you when I say Team Fangs had the right idea. But they just did not have the timing right. Team Samurai had both of them. They had the right idea, the right timing, and the right pacing as well. So that's what worked in the favor of Samurai Esports. Let's head down towards the highlights and take a look at a few individual moments from this stream that were really, really worth watching, and some moments that completely blew our minds.
And before we go into that, I just want to point out, to be honest, I know I've spoken a lot about Blackhawk to be honest, but then at the same time, you got to understand, he is just that good of a player because without Blackhawk, Samurai Esports is not Samurai Esports. Because without that blockage of information, Samurai Esports is going to be able to put up a really, really strong fight, but just not strong enough. And that gives Fangs a fighting chance. So I really wanted Kohli to come in with that counter Astra play, but I never saw that coming in. Like you'll always see in the beginning of the match, you'll see Blackhawk putting down so many stars on A side, B sides, wherever he thinks it's crucial, and that is really, really crucial, and it plays out for them. But Kohli, it's just you see a couple of stars here and there, plays for his advantage in the middle of the round, but that is not something that Astra is known for doing. You can't really play active as an Astra at the same time. You have to play a little bit of passive. You can go in for an active playstyle, but you can't put in a lot of stars. So honestly, Kohli, you have to work a little bit on your Astra gameplay, but nonetheless, really strong fight coming in from Fangs over there. They, like I said, they had the right idea. They went in for the proper executes, and just the timing was a little bit off, and they gave individual frag games. And considering how Samurai Esports was using their abilities to their fullest advantage anyway, all they had to do was take individual aim fights, just control the map, smoke off at the right time, and because of the smokes coming at the right time, they knew exactly how Fangs is going to be thinking and how they're going to be rotating. So instead of Fangs going in for plays, Samurai Esports was controlling Fangs instead.
Yeah, I kind of get that feeling too. I kind of got the feeling that Fangs were just trying to counter Samurai Esports so much that they kind of forgot about their own unique playstyle. And that's what makes them a deadly team. Like, some of these highlights make me realize, now that I take a look at them more closely, it makes me realize that Fangs have a really good idea of how to combine these utilities to do maximum damage together. Like, their executes are actually very, very good.
Yep.
And the way they combine their utilities will leave anyone powerless if they throw everything at them. But then they try to split up, they try to do something that Samurai does, and it doesn't really work out the same way it does for them. So yeah, they were kind of trying to play samurai-esque playstyle a bit too much. It just didn't work in their favor. They could have stuck to their own guns. They are a good team, and I just hope they realize what their strengths are and what their opponent's strengths are, so they try not to replicate them too much. Just do your own thing, I guess. And I believe that they will be able to pull it off in the next map of Icebox.
True. And on top of that, Fangs, you know what? Although they have a really good playset, I feel like they should be experimenting around with other characters too. Because Kohli, as good as he is on that controller type of playstyle, I feel like he would be far better on a different character. Like I feel like he would be that kind of player who would be really, really, really good as an initiator and not as an Astra. And he should probably be leading that to somebody else. No shade on him. He plays a really mean Astra, but I feel like he would be better on another character. But at the same time, like you said, those executes are so good from Fangs, but the timing was a little bit off and the coordination was lacking a teeny tiny bit because they were seeming a little clueless as to when Samurai Esports was taking the taking the fights to Fangs. And honestly, information that should have been going out at the right time just didn't go out, and Samurai Esports was capitalizing on that. And Fangs was like, wait, how is he there? How is he there? And they tried to take good sites. They tried to take the sites well. They went in for good executes. They went in for proper smoke plays. Fully got all of it down. But where they fell apart wasn't holding that post-plant positioning because they didn't really know how to like counter Samurai Esports and coming in with that explosive playstyle, all as a team, as a unit, just taking them out one by one, holding the proper angles, and not double peeking any angle at all. Because like if you notice, every member of Samurai Esports is holding an angle. They're not looking at the same angle twice. And that is honestly what you're supposed to be doing when you're going for a retake. Because when you look at the same angle, you're going to be backstabbed. But nonetheless, I've talked a little too much about the entire match because it was so fun to watch. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to be super pumped and excited for the second map that is going to be Icebox. So we're going to be taking a quick break to set up all of that, and we will be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We are back after the break, and we are watching Samurai Esports versus FANGS. Now, the first map is already done and dusted. Samurai Esports won it pretty convincingly with a scoreline of 13-6. And now we are going to Icebox, a map which has been picked up by Team FANGS. Now, tell me something, Kuwait. What do you think are the odds that we go into a map 3 today?
The odds are good because Icebox is kind of like throw it all onto the playing field kind of map because you don't really rely on a lot on strats, and it is pretty similar to Haven in a way. Like you just go in with those executes, you go in with your flashes and everything. You take the site and you hold it down. But then again, on the map of Haven, you don't really have a lot too much of space to play around with, which is what makes it a little bit more attacker sided. But in the Icebox on the map of Icebox, it's a little more balanced because the openings are not that wide, but at the same time, if you take entry, the openings are wide enough to take entry with smokes. And overall, I feel like mid is honestly the most important place to control on the map of Icebox. And whoever gets mid controlled first and holds it down is going to be able to take the win. And honestly, I'm waiting to see who's going to be doing exactly that. But for now, we're going to be going into the agent selection screen to see what they're going to be picking up as their tools of choice to be working out the map of Icebox.
I'm very surprised to see Sai on a Sky. I mean, they kind of rhyme. Sure, it goes well along the poetry lines, but I've never seen him play an initiator, so this is gonna be very interesting for me. Black Hawk picking up the Viper instead of the Astra, so okay, no surprises there. They still need a controller. Wimp on the Killjoy. Again, no surprises. Ion Q on Sage. So nothing hasn't. The only thing that surprises me for the side of Samurai Esports is the fact that Sai is going for Sky. Other than that, did you notice anything out of place for either of the teams?
Holy. Like, you remember how I said that he could be trying a different agent? Viper? Really intriguing. I want to see what he's going to be putting up with the Viper, Cribs.
Yeah, Viper does kind of become a staple pick on a map like Icebox. It's very essential for you to use that toxin screen to the best of your abilities possible and also manage that fuel properly. So yeah, that's going to be important for Kohli. Let's see if he's able to fulfill that role. Both the Vipers going to be playing a crucial role in the success of these teams. So without further ado, let's just jump into the game as both these teams are in the server already and are ready to go. We have Samurai Esports starting on defense. We've got FANGS on attack. Let's see what they've got for us.
Yep, and we're going to be seeing just one ghost on site, and Excali, I'm not really sure whether that is the wisest choice. Being super confident right now, has picked up a Sheriff, but I'm just gonna be waiting it out to see if he's gonna be selling that, but no one's not gonna be selling that. Being super confident, he had that Sheriff in his hands. Let's see if he's gonna be able to pick up kills with that though. Does try to get the kill, but no one's gonna be dinked instead. What he set out to do is what he couldn't do, and he gets done. That is gonna be done to him instead. B2 is gonna be picking up that kill on Excali, and B2 also gets side somehow. They're just popping off right now. And I'm loving what FANGS is showing right now. Cactus has picked up the kill on Whim. And it's just a bloodbath, but Ion is going to be starting to shut that down. Does get the kill on Cactus. Brings it down to a 2v4 situation, but not looking that good for Samurai Esports right now, Crips. They have to go in for that retake, but that after plan positioning is really good by FANGS right now. And if they go in and don't expect the Viper there, Coley is going to start popping off and start popping. And yes, he's going to be coming out right now by Ayan being the battle sage himself. Does manage to get a kill, but no, a good setup is coming in from Smoka over there. That nano swarm is going to mean that Blackhawk is not going to be getting what he wants. He's not going to be getting that diffuse in. And the last kill is also going to be coming down. Really chaotic for the first round. And it is normally staple for the first round to be super chaotic. But at the same time, sometimes, like I said, there's order in that chaos. And you have good takes. And FANGS, they're just, like I said before, there are these times, there are these maps where FANGS just shows me a different side of themselves. And I love to see that. And on the map of Icebox, I think that is what they're going to be showing us.
I'm gonna make a little bit of a prediction. It's a gamble. I can be wrong. But remember how I said that FANGS are really good and executes, but the moment they try to go for that split push kind of playstyle that Samurai has, they fail? Yeah. If FANGS keep on doing these executes, I have a feeling they will be able to take a decisive lead in the first half. Let's see whether or not I'm correct. So far, these guys are doing a pretty good job of making sure that they don't die to these eco weapons and making their specters safe for them. And Q does get a gun to work with. I'm not sure if he'll be able to do much. Just economic damage is on the boards for him. So that's all. He's got his first target. Oh, but will that target be easy? Because he's hearing sounds from behind him as well. Turns it out and they both peek him at the same time. See, this is the kind of stuff that FANGS is really good at. Once they get information on where their nemesis is, they will be able to double, triple peek them and just destroy them straight up. Their pacing, when they are on full throttle, is actually very deadly. You can get trampled by it. But when they try to go for these split pushes, yeah, that's when the trouble starts. So let's see how long are FANGS able to keep up this whole press W kind of playstyle. How long until Samurai Esports finally come up with a counter?
They have this elephantine sort of setup, sorry, like where they go in like an entire unit with, you know, those old school sort of cavalry sort of thingies, the Crusaders come in with all their shields. That is exactly what FANGS is. And if they keep doing that, they're going to be getting kills down. And look at that. Although Excali did manage to get a kill, B2 instantly traded him out. Like, that is exactly what you were talking about, and I completely agree. Like, they're so good as a unit, they're so good as a team, and once you put them on a map where you don't have to go in for split playstyles, Haven is a very split happy playstyle map, and FANGS tried to take advantage of that, but they couldn't. But when it comes to down to a map like Split or a map like Icebox, FANGS is gonna be ruling Crips. And off the bat, they already have control of the site, and they're not peeking at all. But whoever's is gonna be picking up kills one after the other. Wimp is just activating himself, gets a couple of kills for himself, brings it down to 1v3 situation. And it is all up to Smoka to clutch out the round. He has begun to make it happen, but so do Samurai Esports. They could easily push him at the right time. And if they push him together, Smoka will not stand a chance. What he has to do right now, Crips, is he has to play mind games. And he doesn't have a lot of time to play those mind games, but he doesn't seem to be doing a lot.
Samurai Esports know their win condition. They know that timing is the only thing that they have better than Team FANGS. As soon as they try to tap the spike, as soon as they try to plant, they knew that there's one guy on the zipline tower, so he can't get traded by anyone. In order to trade him out, they will have to wide swing, and they were prepared for those wide swings. So once again, they strike as soon as they hear the spike being planted, and this time they're able to take down Smoka as well without losing too much of their economic momentum. And I love it. Both the teams know their win condition so well. They know exactly what the opponent will do, but still they continue doing it because they believe that their win condition is bigger or better than the other ones. I don't know how much longer will these teams keep fighting the same war over and over again, but eventually one of them will break.
Yeah, but see, Crips, the thing is, Icebox is such a narrow map. It's big, but it's narrow at the same time. So if you give out a lot of presence on A side, that rotate is going to be coming in super fast from Samurai Esports. And once that comes in, it's really hard to take it back, you know? And FANGS, they're good with their aggression, so they should be going for an aggressive push. But no, they're going to be doing exactly what he, said that they're going to be doing. And the thing that they're not that great at, they're gonna be going in for a split play style, but they don't understand that Samurai Esports are so good as a unit, because even if they're split up equally. They know how to distribute their resources, and that is exactly what they work with. But Cactus just locks on Wimp's head and manages to get that kill down, brings it down to a 4v4 situation, but Excali is gonna be denying them that win, and the entirety of Samurai Esports is gonna be putting up a bloodbath sort of show, gets all the remaining kills, puts it all up to Maverick to clutch around out. He has a Spectre in his hands. Not really much to play around with, but little does he know that all of the players around him have a fair bit of idea as to where they are, where he is, because B side is clear. They know that he's in A, but they don't know exactly where he's in A. And if he is able to take advantage of that and take advantage of the fact that they don't know where he is and they think that they're over towards A main, that is the Sage is the only one who has an inkling as to the fact that he is going to be down mid. And if he managed to get even one kill over here right now, it's going to be really, really good for him. But if he manages to also find a gun, pick up a gun from somewhere, that also is going to be a good thing. And he should honestly go in for that safe, Cribs.
10 seconds left.
I guess he has no choice. He'll settle for that save.
Oh,
But
there
I
you go.
hope he also picks up
Scanning
that
ahead.
message that whenever they try to go for these split pushes, it doesn't really work out in their favor. Technically, nothing should have gone wrong for FANGS. On paper, they were doing well. They had Cactus on A. He picked up a frag, did not get traded out, had the 4v5 advantage themselves. The moment that happened, they had the rest of players of Samurai push down the B corridors. They took the fight to them. And over there, Samurai were able to get the kills. They got the spike as well. So that was where the whole round just basically crumbled.
So what are you going to be putting it down to? I feel like it is just like that previous round at least was just completely based on timing. Like I feel like they could have gotten the round, but then Samurai Esports just came in at the right time and FANGS couldn't really have predicted that. Nobody could have. Sometimes your luck is just totally on your side. Nonetheless, if FANGS knows how to work the map of Icebox, they might be able to get the rounds back. And they have to go in for an aggressive push on A side, and that is exactly what they're going to be doing. A scout, a little teeny tiny scouter is going to be coming out in the form of that owl drone to figure out where everybody's going to be positioned. And Cactus is looking to capitalize on that, is looking to find those heads, to take those heads clean off and to get those kills. But nonetheless, he's going to be tagged a little by that Nanostorm, but 3 HP only is going to be reduced, so that's not really that much of an issue. But Cooley over here is going to be popping his ult, but does activates himself, gets a kill on whim, gets another beautiful kill on Excali. Cactus just goes nuts on the field over here, gets another kill, but no, Cody's gonna be shutting down B2. B2 situation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not really sure what Cactus had, but whatever he had, I won in. That was so beautifully executed, and it's looking like FANGS could honestly take this round back because that snake bite came in at the right position to block off that entry, and Samurai Esports is gonna be paying for it, and especially, particularly, Sai is going to be paying for it as he does go down to the Nano Swarm, and he also was tagged out a lot by that snake pit, that snake bite, and not a lot that they can do right now. And Blackhawk is looking to capitalize on that final head. He wants to get that kill, but he's also not going to be super aggressive. He knows that he can lose his gun out too. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Crips. Once they know what to do, they go in with such explosive and beautiful executes that you can't really deny it. They are worthy of going up against a team like Samurai Esports, and they can shut them down given the right situation and given the right opportunity and given the right maps. And like I said before, I feel like Kohli's a bit better on the Viper, not gonna lie.
I'm not sure if he's more comfortable with the Viper or the Astra,
Might
but
be.
quite frankly, I don't care about Kohli individually. FANGS, on an overall level, have accepted that they are better at execute, so they will continue doing that. But then Samurai Esports also can change the pace. If Samurai starts playing aggressively, then these executes can go for a toss. Let's say if they play aggressively and pick off the Viper. That's a crucial ingredient, which is very important to the execute taken down right away. So if they pick off those key members, then they can disrupt these executes. At this point, we gotta see if the playbook of FANGS is deep enough, because I feel like Samurai Esports have prepared for them. And they're taking the aggression to them. They're not waiting for Samurai Esports. They're not giving them the map control. They've picked off Cactus towards the A side already. And now the remaining members of Team FANGS are heading towards the B side. And I have a little idea. I think Team Samurai have a little idea. I feel like they prepared for them. They've got 3 people in place already. Even the kitchen area is not being played very heavily. I mean, Q is in a position from where he can rotate towards the B side very, very easily. But they do a switcheroo once again. They're going in for a double fake. They show presence towards A, hit the B side, and then FANGS are going back to A. They've got the resurrection as well, so Cactus is online. But 27 seconds to make this execute work, I'm not sure if it's enough. All that Team Samurai Esports need to do is throw in disruptive utility to stop them. They've got the lockdown already. It might detain a couple of players. Can they run away in time? I don't think so. One player will get detained, and it's Maverick. He's trapped. He needs a couple of bodyguards on his body right now. And the resurrection comes through from Samurai Esports as well. Excali, he's been revived, but as soon as Wimp tries to go ahead, he'll be met with a deadly crossfire that he cannot break. They need to stop them, and they are defusing. IonQ sticking it. There's nothing that FANGS can do. The crossfire was dealt with so quickly. FANGS had no idea how to retaliate.
Honestly, though, I really thought that FANGS was going to be able to take that round for themselves, because that double whammy, that double fake that came in from them was so beautifully done, and that I thought that they were going to be able to take it out. They did manage to take out Excali. That was the first frag that they needed, that confidence frag they needed to get into sight, but little did they know that Sai was going to be stepping up too. So literally, they should have been a little more on their feet. They gave out too much. They became a little too overconfident. They were very sure of where Samurai Esports was positioned, but Samurai Esports saw through them. They were expecting a double whammy coming in, and they positioned that player over there so well that FANGS was like, you know what, it's gonna be clear. We just need to take Excali out and take the site, but that was not the case. There was one more player there to shut them down, and that little bit of time that they garnered for themselves was enough for Samurai Esports to come into that rotate and take the site back. This is exactly what FANGS has to be capitalizing on. They have to be a little more aggressive and not let their guards down and not take individual fights like that. At the same time, Wimp just pops off, gets a couple of kills. Blackhawk does the same. 2v5 situation already, Crips, and they have already been crippled. And honestly, a flawless round coming in from Samurai Esports, and honestly, I'm not really sure whether FANGS is understanding where they're going wrong. They have to push it together, because that is their strongest suit. That is exactly how they normally like to play. That is what is the soul of FANGS, to be pushing in together like a pack of wolves. I mean, that is their namesake, isn't it, Crips? They should be pushing it together like a pack of wolves and just hunting everybody down. But if you split up and if your pack gets disbanded, you're not going to be able to take those individual fights.
Yeah, and individual fights is not something that Team FANGS excel at. Although it is something that Samurai Esports do have a specialization in. It's never an individual per se. There's always one or the other person backing each other up, and that's what we saw this time as well. Unfortunately, though, Excali won't be allowed to play that aggressively this time around because the recon dot has revealed him. But he knows that Team FANGS is up to something. He can sense them. Recon dot will force him to go even further back, but this time they catch IonQ off guard. That's a crucial player too. This should give them enough room to go in for the plant. One of the nanostorm grenades misses, but that's alright. They will be able to plant, get away, and get back into post-plant positions too. Unfortunately, this time, Samurai Esports don't have the right setup, but this Cactus is still playing aggressively near the A1 box. Maverick will help him out as well. As soon as Wimp peaks, the trades will come through, so it's a 2v4. This time, Team FANGS went in for a very fast execute, where they got the plant, they got back to safety as well. The whole getting back to safety is a part which they haven't been able to nail so far, but they are improving. And Samurai will be forced to concede this round. Team FANGS, they keep on making improvements, and they keep on getting better and better. I just hope they don't end up giving away exit frags.
Oh, instead they're gonna be taking up exit frags, although it's not theirs to take. Oh my god, FANGS is looking super strong right now. Blackhawk to pick up a kill, but that doesn't really matter because the equal frags are coming in, and they're just giving him kills at this point. Come on, it's Blackhawk we're talking about. Come on, you're not supposed to be doing that, FANGS. But beautifully done by them, Crips. Like, they went in so hard and did such a hard execute. They knew that they were not putting up a lot of resources on the side of Fate. They have now figured out that Samurai Esports is not the kind of team that goes in for a full stack or more resources on one side. They just spread it out really evenly. And if they manage to take one side and just fall back at the right time, play for that after plan positioning, they can just shut Samurai Esports down. But at the same time, if Samurai Esports understand what they're up to, they're going to be counter-strategizing that, and I don't know whether they're going to be doing. We're going to be seeing that in the next round, which is coming into play right now. Excali knows what they're up to, so it's going to be holding a really aggressive angle, but Maverick knows what he has to do, pulls out his Hunter's Fury, and he knows exactly where they're going to be positioned, manages to tag one player out, gets that location, but that's all he can do. Now all he has to do is wait for his teammates to come in for that push. Once they get that initial entry, get that initial frag, and the confidence to push in, they can go in for that side, go in for that plan, and just hold it down. Maverick just becoming a beast himself takes Excali down. They got one frag, but honestly, Crips, I don't think that they should be going in for that same play, but they're going to be doing that. They come in with that setup, but they're going to be able to manage it off too. Cactus gets a kill with his Blade Storm on Ion. that is going to be really crucial for them, but that player advantage is coming onto their sides. But Wimp is going to be denying that, gets a kill on B2, 3v4 situation, and honestly retakeable. But at the same time, FANGS, you went in for that plant, and you should have honestly backed off. Cactus is playing really aggressive right now and playing with fire, so Samurai Esports is going to be taking advantage of that. Managed to catch him off guard, 2v3 situation. Like I said, retakeable equips. But I don't really think that was the wisest choice, but Holy went in for a good lineup there.
Smokey's flank is going to be of crucial importance now. He finally strikes, taking down Blackhawk as he was trying to protect his teammate. It doesn't matter if Kohli dies. This time, finally, those split pushes have been paying off for Team FANGS, but that's the best part. It paid off only because it happened in a post-spawn situation. If they did it right from the start, probably would have been destined to fail. Here's the way how they adapted this execute. They had one poison dart and a slow orb on top of the rafters so that anyone who's opping, read Excali over here, he won't be able to disrupt them right at the start. So they can't pick up fights from rafters. They will be forced to play from the low ground where they already have all the utility to clear out the close angles. So they make sure that Team Samurai Esports can't play disruptively because of the poison, because of the snake bite and the slow orb. They go in for the plant just like last time, and they fall back to safety. And this time they had Kohli, no, not Kohli, who was it? I believe it was Smokey who went in for the mid push very late. His two teammates died because he was not present over there, but it paid off in the end because Smokey was able to pick off people who were still on the zipline tower trying to defuse. And they keep on doing these little variations to these executes the more they learn about Samurai. And I feel like fans are finally starting to catch up. Like the way they've been adapting their executes to make sure that Samurai Esports can't really throw a spanner in their works is kind of indicative of the fact that FANGS can read their opponents. They can predict them. But how long can they keep on doing this?
Exactly, you're absolutely right, but yeah, and at the same time, FANGS is switching it up a little bit. Those are only 2 rounds, Crips, that they went in for the same sort of execute. They went in for that really aggressive play. They went in, got the plan, came back out, but very risky though at the same time. Because if you get caught off guard during that plan, it's game over. You can't really take that spike back because it's going to be in the control of Samurai Esports. So it was good for a couple of rounds, but they had to start switching it back up. And like I said, they're not going to be going in for an A take anymore. Excali expects that. He knows that a couple of rounds is all they were going to go for. So he just switches up his positioning, goes on over to the B side because he was expecting that to come in, gets an initial frag. Going to be a little detrimental to them, but nonetheless, 4v5 is still manageable. A minute to play around with. They had the spike in their position. That location hasn't been given off. The Sentinel is trying to get a little bit of information down mid, but Cactus is going to be pushing in alone, and he needs that backup coming in, but no backup is going to be coming in, and Sai is going to be taking advantage of that. Takes Cactus out. 3v5 situation, but Chris, yet again, they're giving initial frags. I mean, individual frags, and they're just not understanding that you can't do that against a team like Samurai Esports and Excali being pixel perfect. Picks up the 3rd kill on Smoka as he just sees that head and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna lock on and I'm gonna get that kill. Maverick left alone to fight out of Blackhawk, but Blackhawk is just gonna casually step out, Crips, and just gonna delete him. Like I said, it was good for a couple of rounds, but they can't really go in for split plays. They're giving out not even information. They're just taking fights individually, and I don't really know why they're doing that because whatever they're doing is right. But do it a little more coordinated, like push it together.
Like they were, putting up quite a good performance in the previous 2 rounds, and I really felt like they had the formula to success. They had that recipe, and they would keep on spamming it until it's broken or until it doesn't work. But they switch it up almost instantly. They try to fix something that's not broken, and it just doesn't work for them. So let's hope they go back to their old ways. Let's hope they go back to what's working and not give away too many advantages to Samurai Esports.
At the same time, Crips, like if they pulled off that same strategy one more time, they would have known that position was going to be where the plant is going to be coming in. Could have easily gone in for that plant, and Sai knows exactly that's what they like doing, and he's going to spam that out. Because if Kohli went in for another play like that, Sai would have gotten that kill. That is exactly what I'm saying. But another aggressive... Yeah, but I mean, nonetheless, that hit is going to be coming in, and they have to play inside that Crips. I'm not really sure if they're going to be able to catch the people off guard, but Samurai Esports are known for that coordination and the team gameplay, so it's all up to how they're going to be playing the post-plant positioning.
Yeah, there's gonna be a couple people inside the pit, a couple people outside it, but the people who are outside it have died. Kohli getting taken down is a crucial player, and now everything falls apart because the Viper Spit is offline. IonQ, he does a pretty good job of holding off this attack, but then comes B2, and he should be disruptive enough. He's got Blackhawk covering the angle, and he'll pre-fire onto B2, protecting IonQ once again. I love this execution from Team FANGS. They tried to switch things up. I was a little concerned about that barrier up that they placed first, but it did not seem to matter. It did not seem to bother them too much. They did change their plant location, which does make sure that they can't get pre-fired on top of that zipline tower. But unfortunately, Kohli dying right at the start, it was what caused the downfall of that round. If he would have been able to keep the Viper Spit online for just a few more seconds, then could have been a completely different story.
Yeah, downfall of that round and of that curtain they had up. Like, the curtains just came down and they were like, oh no, we're exposed. And not much they could do after that. But that was really a really good take, a really good execute, and they understand that Samurai Esports are being able to hold down the sides that well. And Icebox is kind of a tight cornered map, because if you are holding proper angles, the defender side is not that hard to pull up, Frips, but FANGS they have to go in for those aggressive playstyles and fall back. Because Samurai Esports is going to be capitalizing on that. And off the bat, Maverick is going to be getting a kill on side. Smoke, however, is going to be trying to take out another head, but no. Samurai Esports is not giving out any heads. They have the guns to pull off the round, but FANGS do not, and they're going to be taking advantage of that. They're just going to be waiting for them to push in and just get those individual frags, Scripts. And that aggression is going to be coming in from FANGS over there, but are they going to be able to make it? Because if they don't right now, they don't really have a lot of money to work around with. They have to pick up guns, and they have not the best sort of guns that you need for a take like this. And Ion holding a really cheeky angle. Really cheeky, actually, Chris. That's trying to get that kill on Cactus. 2v4 situation. Man, you can manage to take this back. Oli is going to be going for the flank, but he's going to be spammed down. Wimp is going to be activating himself. The entirety of Samurai Esports actually is going to be activating themselves, and they have officially lost the spike. And Excali is a little far away, but nothing too hot for Excali to handle. All he has to do is play around the spike, but I'm not really sure with his nade. He knows that the spike is gone, but Maverick, a beautiful tap over there is going to mean that Wimp is going to be going down. Not a lot of time to play around with, and that plant has to be going down, but he knows where Excali is. Oh no! But he dashes up the bullets to make that kill, and Excali is going to be getting that kill instead because he had the Blade Storm on him to get that kill. Okay, that honestly could have gone either way.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, and he did not go for the reload because he did not want to reveal his position or something. Yeah. But that ended up costing him his life. He definitely had Excali. He should have been able to kill him, but he tried to conserve his bullets, I feel, and he did not, end up straight up spraying him down. And it's not like Excali dashed away in a very good way either. No, he could have still taken him down. It was an easy enough shot to trace, but he loses this round. And if he would have been able to clutch it out, it would have been an ace for him too. So unfortunate.
So really unfortunate, just unlucky, as I like to call it. Like, that was really manageable by FANGS, and they did a really good job too, but they lost the spike at the wrong time. Although you said that it's a formula that wasn't broken, I feel like it was a little bit of a Hail Mary sort of situation. Going in, getting the plan and falling back, that's kind of a Hail Mary sort of situation.
It is.
It works. Yeah, it works for a couple of rounds, and they read it beautifully. They knew that it will work for a couple of rounds, and they shouldn't be overusing that, because once they start overusing that, Samurai Esports, it's going to be very easy for them to spam it out and just take the spike down and just hold it down for themselves. So they have to re-strategize right now. But then again, like I said, some teams are just better on the defense side, and Icebox is a map that, if played well, the defense is going to be super strong. It's really, either side. It depends upon how you're going to be playing it out, how you're going to be using your abilities. And Viper's on both sides, so not really sure how it's going to be played out, but I hope that FANGS is something up their sleeves that we've not seen before.
And I also love the way how Samurai Esports counter-stratted that one. Like, for example, that barrier rob that Ion placed over there, it creates that cheeky angle, sure, but it also forces the players of Team FANGS to go plant elsewhere and not plant in that comfortable position. They wanted them to go upstairs and plant on the zipline tower where they can get spammed. And they were forcing Team FANGS to go for it. They also were able to convince them that it's a good idea. And it kind of worked in their favor because Team FANGS was playing into the traps of Samurai Esports. But then in the end, somehow FANGS managed to bring it back to a 1v1. Like those chaotic trades, it should not have worked for Team FANGS because Samurai Esports had that trap laid out perfectly for them. Unfortunately, they still lose the round. Samurai, even though the round got out of hand for just like a couple of seconds and they seemed like they were losing their grip, they win it back. Excali is the one who clutches it out.
So to be honest, like I said last time, I feel like Samurai Esports is controlling FANGS more than FANGS are controlling themselves at this point. And to be honest, in my opinion, that is more because they're playing it a bit by the book, bit too much by the book. And if they start going in for really unexpected plays and something that they're not thinking through, but they know, they're having coordination with, they'll be able to get it down because they just had to play it a little individually but coordinated at the same time. You know what I mean? Like this Blackhawk and Ion just getting kills off the bat and FANGS, forcing FANGS to go off A side and letting them take it. The spike plant is going to be going down. This is exactly what I was expecting from FANGS, but Samurai Esports is bringing that storm instead. They have to go in for that retake. FANGS have to go in for that retake. They have to get the information out and squeeze out every last bit of head, every last bit of HP that they can from the side of Samurai Esports. But I'm not really sure whether that's going to be possible because Blackhawk, being that 200 IQ player he is going to be smoking it off oh so beautifully, not letting FANGS see anything at all. And that does mean that first pick that is going to be coming in from the side of FANGS, and it means that Samurai Esports is going to be seeing them first, and whoever sees the other first is going to be getting the kill. And like I said, Ion picks up another kill, 2v2 situation. Not a lot that they can do. Scally goes in for an aggressive play, tries to get a kill. Kind of a bit cheeky over there, but nothing much that they can do. The diffuser almost manages to stick it, but he is going to be going down to the hands of B2. Amazingly well done by Samurai Esports over there. But like I said, Samurai Esports is controlling FANGS more than they know. And I feel like it is because they're playing it a bit by the book. And they're going in for usual takes and usual retakes, which is fair enough. But you kind of have to start thinking on your feet and sometimes just going for random strategies or no strategies at all and playing just individual frag games once you realize that the opponents are going a lot by the book and trying to control you. Because when you're not thinking, at that point, Samurai Esports can't control you if you're not thinking, right? Although that is a really risky move that works out sometimes.
It's risky, but if it works, it works. That's what the whole funda of Team Samurai Esports is.
Exactly.
They take these risks and they pay off. And it's a calculated risk too. It seems like they're good at math, even though I'm not. Cactus this time playing very cheaply. Oh, he's too busy looking upstairs, and Blackhawk is able to surprise him. Can't swing his mouse back down in time. And that's it. They fall once more. Excali gets up on top of that tower on the back of that toxin screen, but looks away at the wrong time, so ends up giving up his life. But it's still okay because it's a 2v4, and it's a very unlikely situation that Team FANGS will bring this round back. Especially not when it's down to a 1v4 now.
So, to be honest, at this point, what I think that FANGS should be doing is letting Samurai Esports take the sites. Yeah, I said it. Just take the sites, let them take it, hold it down, wait for those utilities to come up, because Samurai Esports are going to be trying to hold it off as much as they can. And once those utilities are exhausted, they will keep a few for themselves. Samurai Esports are honestly where they are because of how smart they are, but at the same time, those limited number of abilities on their hands is something that FANGS can be taking advantage of. And they can go in for late retakes and just go in together and just play individual frag games, and it's going to surprise Samurai Esports so much that they're not going to know what hit them.
Let's see if they can hit them back this time around. This time, they're going back to their old ways. Samurai Esports is taking a page out of the book of FANGS, and they're going to hit the B side with everything they've got. This one wave will allow Kohli to dish in a little bit of damage, but then Wimp is ready on the other side, and he will be able to destroy Kohli. That's one player down, and they have control of the site. They're going for the plant, and they're overextending as well. They've got a couple of players down all the way to a small man, and Smoke will be able to deal with them. Good job dealing with the over-aggression from Team Samurai Esports, balling it into a 2v4. A very winnable situation for Team FANGS right now, but they need to make sure that this barrier orb doesn't really give them any room to work with, and it doesn't. Blackhawk gets tagged by the all drone, gets shot down by B2, and Q in a 1v3. Very difficult situation. Dinks Cactus in the face, but Cactus has a bigger weapon, takes his head clean off of his shoulders.
Size does matter, doesn't it? But at the same time, so well done by Samurai Esports over there. Like, they are taking the execute so well, but FANGS, they're seeming to be able to read through them a little bit right now. They're understanding that they're going for fast executes, really fast takes, and holding down the sites. and they're playing to their advantage. What Samurai Esports shouldn't have done is overextended. They got a little overconfident and overextended a little bit. And FANGS is not a team that you can be overconfident against. FANGS, they're really, really strong themselves. And if you push out on them, you take them for wimps, they're not gonna give up. They're not gonna back down. They're gonna kill you really, really badly. They're gonna hurt you as much as they can. And Samurai Esports, they just got a little too cocky, didn't they? Nonetheless, let's see what they're gonna be pulling off this round as they go in for a little bit of aggression on the side of A. All the information in the world has been taken by Sai. He knows exactly where everybody is, but Smoka is not gonna be bothering about that because he's gonna be picking up the first kill on Wim, putting the advantage on their side. Kohli has to be working with his abilities right now to push them off as much as he can to help his teammates out. But nonetheless, that take hasn't been coming in from the side of Samurai Esports. Not a lot of time that they have. I mean, they have time, but they don't have the players. Like, one player is down. That was a crucial player, though. And that also means that one set of abilities is down, and you can't be working with that. And Cactus is going to be capitalizing on that, gets Blackhawk down, the smoker off the game, and that means that they're not going to be having any blockage of vision anymore. Kohli picks up a beautiful kill over there. That's a second. Tries to go in for a third, but Sai is going to be saying, no. Nah, that's it. 2 kills, that's all you get. 1v2 situation, clutchable. They have to go in for that retake, and Sai can be getting those kills out. But again, individual frags. Why? Whenever you're clearing out corners, if you have 2 people, just play that to your advantage. But anyway, that information has been given out, and that is something that Smoker can be using to his advantage. Just puts that nanoswarm out, knowing that he's not going to be there, puts up a turret, just to know where he's going to be coming in from. That is going to be giving him that information, and he's going to be capitalizing so beautifully. I was thinking he's going to be doing that, but what I didn't expect, Crips, was for him to jump up on that. Bro, what? Honestly, that's a highlight clip right there. What?
There definitely is highlight material, but you know what else is worth highlighting? It's the way these guys use the barrier op. Team FANGS, I've pointed out last time how, I think it was like 3 or 4 rounds ago when they used the Viper's Pit as well. And they had the barrier op placed in a very awkward spot. And that kind of made me question what they were doing. This time, they had something similar. They placed that barrier orb in between the server box and the zipline tower, which does block out most of the room and gives them a safe play to plant. But then there was a player of FANGS beyond it, and I was like, why is he there? This will block him out. It will leave him stranded. Why is he doing this? And then these guys climb up on that barrier orb, shoot down 2 players of Samurai Esports, and then I was like, that's why. So yeah, those cheeky little barrier orb plays, they've been confusing me. Imagine how much confusion it will cause in the camp of Samurai Esports who don't have the access to all this information that we casters do. Sai will be revived, so no repercussions over there. But now the overall advantage does lie in the favor of Team FANGS. They're dumping so much utility onto Team Samurai. Oh my goodness. They're stopping them. V2 gets a frag. Sai does bring it back, but in this 4v4 situation where everyone is present over here, it's the flankers who will be of crucial importance. And there's no fun coming in from the side of Team FANGS this time around. Samurai Esports, all of them, these guys are forced back, but Blackhawk, can he get away with murder? Yes, he does. Really good stuff. Somehow they survived this initial onslaught, but both of them have been forced into a corner. This Viper Split will make it near impossible for them to work around with. Blackhawk does go in the nick of time. They're trying to go for the defuse. Oh, they stop him. Really good stuff by Blackhawk. This guy is a genius. How on earth does he keep on getting away with murder? So risky plays. But every time it seems like the risk is calculated. Every time he's able to pull it off. Damn, it makes me so anxious.
Also, at the same time, I feel like he's way more comfortable on the Viper than any other character. I don't think that he was playing that Astra. Like, no shade, he's really good with the Astra, but he's just so good with that Viper, right?
He's good with everything, man.
He's
good at getting away with murder. That's it.
True. Wait, I tripped up over there. I meant Kohli. Blackhawk is a god on that Astra.
Blackhawk.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry. My bad. Either way, this time it's FANGS bad because they keep on getting picked off individually. One of them died on tube, one of them died just outside of B, one on A, so they're giving up these frags everywhere. It's okay because it's an eco round, so it doesn't really matter.
True.
But yeah, it does leave a lot to be desired.
I mean, you can go in for a few frags at least. If you can pick up any kill at all, it is going to be well played. Honestly, a GG kind of moment. If you can get any kill at all and damage your economy at all, it's going to be good. And Maverick tries to do that, but he's the only player left. And they were just searching for Maverick at this point. He gives away that information. Excalibur does have the guns to pull off the kill. He does pull it off. 11th round on the board. And so far so good because FANGS is putting up a really good fight, and I'm loving what they're bringing out onto our screen so far. But they're understanding. So what FANGS is strong with is what Samurai Esports doesn't go for. They're really opposites on this over here. Like I said that they're both aggressive, but they're both aggressive teams in different ways. Like Samurai Esports is like aggressive but coordinated and strategic, but FANGS is aggressive but they're on individual prowess, and they're trying to bring in coordination. They're not even coordination, they're trying to bring in strategy onto the books. But to be honest, like, no shade, but they're not that good with strategy, but they're really good with individual gameplay. So if they can take individual fights with their own abilities and manage to confuse Samurai Esports as much as possible and give out as much information as they can to the rest of their teammates, FANGS is just gonna be picking up kills one after the other. And
did he just bust off his head?
I'm not really sure, but no damage done. I'm not really sure. But at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, Kohli was pushed off hard. The number of utilities that came at him, right? He was like, backing off right now.
Oh, you better dodge those laser beams, and he will be taken down. Maverick is able to shoot Blackhawk out of the sky. But that's okay because Blackhawk was just a ruse. This will make things a little bit awkward as they go in for the B-side attack without any toxin screens. But maybe the lockdown can help their cause. It doesn't actually. Smokey is just so good with that Phantom. Sai finally coming in with damage control. He's got the Seekers, and there's exactly 3 opponents left, so he can find their positions. One of them's been detained as well. But if he tries to go to kill that detained player, it will be a trap because definitely he's being guarded. He's got only 20 seconds to work with those, so whatever he does, he's gonna have to do it very quickly. Dodges the first death shot. Can't get the kill though, as Cactus re-engages almost immediately.
So far so good. That is exactly what I'm trying to tell you right now. 11-8 on the scoreboard, and that is a really strong score against a team like Samurai Esports. And like I've said so many times before, Team FANGS is no joke, obviously. They're so good at what they do, but Crips, they are not that great with strategies. Like I said, I'm not blaming them at all. You don't have to be good, all that good with strategies, because sometimes, like, you see this raw aim game coming out along with ability usage, and you just play individually. But at the same time, you give out information and you have that coordination and you pick up individual frags, and that sometimes is all that you need. And FANGS has that going for them, and they should be starting to do that right now. And that is exactly what I'm seeing. And that is also something that they were not doing in the beginning half of the round. They're doing that right now, falling back at the right time, playing individually, getting those kills, picking up those retakes, picking up the exit frags, and just managing to pull the rounds back. Now the player disadvantage is going to be on the side of Samurai Esports, and even more so right now as Maverick picks up a kill on Ion. But Cactus over there, being the cheeky little guy he is, he knows that Excalibur is going to be there. One jet taking out the other, but Sai is not going to be having any of that. No, he's going to be taking Cactus out, and Blackhawk takes out Maverick. 2v3 situation, spike plan down, a little bit of time to play around with, and all FANGS has to be doing right now is playing a game of smoke and mirrors, and that is exactly what they're doing right now as the smokes come in at the right time, the walls come to the right time to keep them on their toes, to keep them confused, and to pick up the frags from places that they would never expect. This is exactly why I love FANGS scripts, because they're just so in the moment, and that is not something that a lot of teams can do. And I might be criticizing a little too much about that. Like, I say that some teams are a bit too individual in their gameplay style. I've said that a lot about FANGS, but once you sprinkle in a little bit of coordination and communication, FANGS is a godlike team.
Yeah, they were godlike this time around. They realized that Samurai Esports are going for one of those Hail Mary pushes from mid to B. And there are counters to it. There are ways to stop it. And I love the way how Team FANGS was just getting a kill, falling back, getting a kill, falling back. They relinquish map control, but at least they retain man advantage, so they don't lose out on both the fronts. I love that from Team FANGS. They're not too keen on fighting when they know they can't have an advantage. And this time they have a definite advantage as Kohli sprays down IonQ through that toxin screen. Gets the spike down as well. Sai somehow evades a deadly shot, but there's way too much green to cross, and Maverick will shoot him down right through it. These spears are falling down like flies, and Samurai Esports are down to the last 2 players. How will they recover from this? At least they have the spike in their bags, but there's very little avenues of them planting the spike over here. Oh, Blackhawk, the timing so bad, and Smokeout gets the better of him. It's just Swift now. He's cornered, he's pounded by 4 people shooting him at the same time. And FANGS are recovering. And these guys are on the verge of tying things up with Samurai Esports. Do you think they can actually go for the tie? Can they push us into map number 3?
Not just that. I was gonna ask you whether this is gonna be going into overtime because it looks like
It
FANGS is
be.
putting up. They're putting up such a good fight that yeah, it's possible. Oh, an overtime might just come into play because the thing is, yeah, they're going in for really good takes. Samurai Esports are going for good takes, but they're pushing unnecessarily through like invisibility veils. Like Holy is putting up really good smokes, and that is something that you should not be pushing. That is something that you should be respecting because you can't Stewie 2K your way out of every situation,
Yeah.
can you?
Nah, not every time. Even Stewie has a little bit of backup every time he goes in, but this time I
Exactly.
just did not see that from Samurai.
Toxin screen down.
They go back to
But
their old ways now. Samurai Esports are splitting up. They've left the spike back on mid. They're sending Excali down the B corridors. He won't be pushing beyond that toxin screen, but they're also trying to show presence on the A side, where for now they're safe from the AWPer, courtesy of this poison cloud. But the moment it goes down, the threat of Cactus is back online. Maybe the Owl drone will force him to change the angle, and it buys Samurai Esports a little bit more space to work with. But they're not using that space. They just left Excali down here, and now they're circling back towards the B side, which isn't really the best choice for them because Fangs are not buying this fake. They know what's happening. They have an idea that the B execute might come in anytime soon. And the one way Kohli can't capitalize on it, the first fragger has fallen. The first line of defense is broken. Maybe this lockdown can stop them from planting the spike, but they're gonna commit to it. And Blackhawk destroys it too. So much going in the favor of Team Samurai Esports right now. And this is the silver lining that they've been looking for. B2 brings it back. He kills Excali. This 3v3 situation is all they've been looking for. Do they have anything else to make this retake even easier? I believe the recon dot should reveal Wimp, but it doesn't reveal anyone else. Those nanoswarm grenades are going to be such a pain to deal with, but they've still got plenty of time. They need to protect their defusing teammates, but no! Samurai Esports! 1 second! 3 kills! They all peek out at the same time and destroy Team FANGS from getting anywhere close.
Yup, that was so well done by Samurai Esports, and that does mean that 12th round is going to be coming into play for the side of Samurai Esports, and the match point at that. Now, that is a really good confidence breaker for FANGS right now, and Samurai Esports might be looking to take advantage of that. But at the same time, sometimes that 12th round honestly works to your own disadvantage because you tend to get a little bit too overconfident, try to finish it all off in one round and start giving off rounds instead. So if they're going to be starting to do that, if Samurai Esports is going to be starting to slip, FANGS is going to be there to take advantage of that, and they'll bring it down to 0 in overtime because they are gods themselves. They know what they have to do, and like I said, Cactus is going to be getting the first pick and he's going to be falling back at the right time. He knows what has to be done, and he knows that he can't be giving out his body at any given moment, and he dashed out at the right time. Now that take is going to be executed. It's going to be coming from Samurai Esports, and what FANGS has to do is fall back and just wait for it and push it aside. Once those utilities come up, they have to go in for those aggressive play style. Oh my god, Cactus goes in for the he just got Valorant so hard, but it's still a 4v5 right now. Chris, it's still manageable, and the spike plan has been denied. They have the spike in their control. Samurai Esports is a little bit on their rear foot, and they have to start capitalizing on that positioning they have right there. Like, because Wimp, that positioning so beautiful, does get that kill on Smoka. Blackhawk gets Kohli, and Samurai Esports just pop it off, bringing it down to only Cactus to clutch out this run. He does get a kill, but no.
Good
The final kill is going to be coming from Excali over there. So aggressive, so chaotic, so confusing, but Samurai Esports stayed on top of that confusion because they knew they knew the moment that they had to push in. They knew exactly when they had to fall back, and they knew exactly where to flank from, because that flank from Wimp was something that Samurai FANGS did not expect at all. And that one kill, in my opinion, was what gave away the round. Wimp honestly clutched his round out for Samurai Esports.
Yeah, Wimp coming up with the big impact frags. But you know what else was impressive? This time from Team FANGS, they tried to go for the disruptive plays. It did not work out for them, but hey, the important part is you learn from those mistakes, and they learned that they need to be a little bit more disruptive when Samurai goes in for these kind of executes. You have the Jet go in up close and personal, trying to execute the Sage as she was planting. The Bladestorm missed. That was like a big F moment, and I kind of lost my breath over there. But hey, they got that kill nonetheless. They killed the Spike Planter, and they knew that every time you put down a Viper Spear, or every time Samurai Esports are dumping too much utility at you, the sole objective of all that utility is to stop you from doing all these disruptive plays. But FANGS did it nonetheless. They lost the round. That was a different story, perhaps because of Vim's position. But at least they learned the message. At least they learned that they need to play a little bit more disruptively. I just wish that they started doing this a little bit sooner. Then they would have had more rounds to work with. Let's take a look at the map highlights and these highlights kind of point out where they missed out on these opportunities, and we'll point them out when they come up on the screen. But overall, it was a very entertaining game by both these teams as they try to one up each other. At one point, both the teams had to come up with a completely fresh set of strategies, and they were so good to look at, so entertaining. And eventually, it was Samurai Esports that won the game, but man, Team FANGS, they made them sweat.
Honestly, they did make them sweat. But Samurai Esports, although they played a little bit by the book, they're so good with the coordination. When you see them play, it makes you feel like they're just connected mentally and they don't even have to give callouts. But yeah, they are giving their callouts. That is why they're as good as they are. But it just makes you feel like that synchronization and that fluidic motion in their team gameplay is what I love about Samurai Esports. And what is good about FANGS is the fact that they're not fluidic, but they're, how do I put it? Like short bursts of intense energy just coming in from individual players. So yeah, I've been critical about their individual gameplay style before, but yeah, just look at Cactus over there popping off. Just gets two beautiful, sick one taps with that Blade Storm. That man, honestly, all he needs is that Blade Storm. So which is why he always goes in for that Jet. Every time I've seen him play that Jet, it's always been a treat to watch. But yes, like I said, FANGS, as good as they're just better with that individual gameplay style. So they should be pushing in together, but they don't necessarily have to be thinking about what the other players are going to be doing. Like when Samurai Esports are playing, they're constantly thinking about, yeah, my teammate is there, they're doing this, I'll put in this ability to help him out. But that is Samurai Esports. What FANGS is better with is, like I said, individual gameplay style. They go in, they take in their own individual frags, they pick up their own slack, and they start getting it all back. And I've seen them do that before, but a little uncoordinated. So I'm guessing that they thought that, yeah, that's probably our mistake. It's just because of the coordination. We had to play it by the book a little bit more. And that is what I've been seeing them do. They're doing that more often these days than not. And I liked it at first, but I think that they're better with their individual gameplay.
Yeah, but individual gameplay will be only good if they, attack them in like an execute kind of situation. The moment they start splitting up, that's when things start to go wrong for Team FANGS. And even though they might be better individually, as a split push, it just doesn't work, especially against a team like Samurai, who themselves specialize in split pushing. So you try to play into the hands of Samurai Esports, you try to replicate something that they are good at, it's not going to work out the same way for Team FANGS.
So, honestly, when you're going in for that, like I said, that elephantine sort of push, yeah, they're good individually, but you just have to do that in sync. Be good individually, but in sync. I'm not saying that you don't put up coordination. You put up coordination and you bring out that individual gameplay at the same time, because that's what FANGS is good at. And they're so good at that. But nonetheless, we saw a really good matchup coming in today, and it was so entertaining. I'm very sure you were thoroughly entertained, Crips, and at the same time, I'm very sure that the audience was thoroughly entertained. But nonetheless, we are going to be coming back with the analyst desk to break down what we saw right now. We've broken it down a lot, but we're going to be, just dismantling that and showing you where exactly both of the teams went wrong in the various rounds. But yeah, wait up for that. And until then, we're going to be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the analyst as for the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by W Black and AMD Ryzen. And I'm back, your boy Aggressive, joined, of course, by our caster and analyst, Quaint and Crisps. After such a banger of a seg, you guys were really excited. I heard the casting, I heard your voices, and you guys were pumped. Every single play, every single moment of both of those matches just went to show that these teams can go the distance, but it was the side of Samurai Esports being able to push even harder and even further and take it all the way on a 2-0. So let's head on down over to the map veto screen and let's just see the score lines and try and break down the maps piece by piece in particular. And let's really talk about map number 1 in particular, the pickup by the side of Samurai Esports. And here I'm going to start with you, Crips, at the very beginning, primarily because this map, I want your opinion. What went wrong for the side of Team FANGS and what did the side of Samurai did wrong?
Okay, so I'll start with Samurai and I'll explain why they were successful. Samurai is the kind of team that plays the whole split push strategy really, really well. They will get their players into aggressive positions, let's say on the extremities of the map, maybe in the C-long corridor or down on A-long. And then once they're there, they take a step back. They take a chill pill. They try to work with, they try to gather information, and then they decide where they want to go. They play reactively. It's a little mix. They get map control first, that's proactive plays, and then they wait for their opponents to make a move, and that's reactive. So that's a good, healthy balance of them both. That's why Samurai Esports are good at split pushing. When it comes to Team FANGS, they play only and only proactively. They do not wait for reactions. But then there are some instances where Team FANGS goes in for those straight up executes, and that's when they really, really shine. So if they're good at playing proactively, they better use it to everything that, they better use it to its fullest advantage. If they go for executes, which is mostly leaning towards the more proactive side of the needle than the reactive side, right? So that's what the executes are for. They're good at that, they stick to it. And if FANGS would have stuck to their executes more often, I think they should have been able to win a lot more rounds than they did in Haven. They tried to go in for the split pushes like Samurai did, and they did not really succeed. You can't do an anti-split push strategy against Samurai. Like, it's their home turf. They know how to play this. This is what they grew up with. So you can't beat them at their own game.
I completely agree with you. This is their home turf, and the fact that the side of Team FANGS really did try and take that strategy away by picking up that breach. Yes, it could have worked out, but at the same time, I believe that would be one of the much more of those weak points in my eyes. So I'm going to ask you this question, Quaint. Do you think that the side of Team FANGS really did lose out on the map of Haven in particular due to their composition and the pickup of that breach?
Because I didn't see a lot of breach flashes coming at the same time. I saw a lot of concusses, yes, but I wouldn't really pin it on that. Because like Chris put it also beautifully, it's just a bit to where it's Samurai Esports being more calculated, more calm, trying to read out the map and the opponents at the same time, and FANGS just giving out too much information and being too aggressive at the wrong times. I mean, being aggressive is not wrong at all, but if you do it at the wrong times and you're not going to be doing it in full tandem with your teammates, it is not going to be working out for you, especially against a team like Samurai Esports, who manage to hold down sites so well, whether they're on the attack side or on the defense side. They're always on that upper hand. Like, they always know what is going on around them, and they have such good situational awareness that you can't really just go in for your by the book sort of play style and just get away with it that fast. So what I like about FANGS is the fact that they go in for that aggressive push when they're going in together and they manage to take the kills, because that is when Samurai Esports don't understand what they're going to be doing, because it is a pure aim game, a pure frag game coming in at that point, and they can't predict what FANGS is going to be doing.
I completely agree with you on the fact that FANGS just fell a little bit short there. Really did hurt them down when it came onto map number one. But let's go in for another breakdown for map number two, because that was a home pick coming on down from the side of Team FANGS. And the fact that they were not able to win that one out in particular when they had the strategies, when they had the home term advantage, the main thing that I really want to highlight coming on down from their side was which parts did they fall short? What do you think really happened there, Crips, for the side of Team FANGS in particular?
Um, I don't have any particular things to say about what went wrong for them, but there were a couple of beautiful moments where I was really impressed by Team Fangs. I can't tell them what not to do, but I can tell what they should be doing. There was this one instance, 3 or 4 rounds into the second half, where these guys were attacking, and then they started to use the snakebite and the slow up combination to stop the players of Samurai from playing on rafters. I felt like that was a brilliant move. Then there was another instance where Kohli tried to flank them from mid in the post plant situation, a timing where nobody would expect a flank to come through. So that was great as well. Another instance where I believe they were playing around that barrier orb so well. So there were these couple of things that just bamboozled the hell out of Samurai Esports, and I felt like that really, really worked for Fangs. That's the kind of stuff that they need to keep on repeating because it did give them quite a lot of success. Although what doesn't work for them, unfortunately, I can't point them out. That's a puzzle they're going to have to solve on their own.
Yeah, at that stage, Team FANGS, they tried to play admirably and they played to the best of their ability. But it really also does come to the fact of confidence because, in my eyes, I believe as though after losing out on map number one, their confidence took a massive hit. And even though they were able to default back to their old strategies, I think that really does work for them in particular. But the fact is, having one loss already and having your backs against the wall really does cause a lot of mounting pressure, especially against a team of Samurai Esports' caliber, which can just easily take it away entirely. But I'm going to give you one more question, Quinn, before we do head on down over to the group standings. What do you think that the side of Samurai did perfectly to take away that map of Ice Wolves? Because after I saw them play Samurai Esports, even though they were like literally thrown into the loop over so many of the things that happened coming on down from the side of Team Fangs, they were still able to come out on top. Why do you think that is?
Just pure mind games aggressive. Because honestly, as good as they are with their holds and as good as they are with their strategic gameplays, they know how to use their abilities to force Fangs to think in a way that they want them to think in. That makes
Yeah.
Fangs go in ways where, yeah, like that they would expect, like that amazing, like Crip said, that barrier orb was used so beautifully. And that plan, that barrier orb being positioned on the A side on map number two on was so amazingly done by Samurai Esports. It meant that Fangs had to go in for that plan, either not there or somewhere a little over towards the other side. And once you expect that, Samurai Esports can just come in and you know where that plan is going to be coming. Once you hear that audio notification, all you have to do is go in and take that player out. That's what I think Samurai Esports does so well. They're really, really good at mind control at that very thing. Like they play the map out so well that Fangs is honestly forced to go along with what they're dictating for them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like honestly, the way that the Saturday Samurai Esports were able to take control of this entire matchup in their own favor, but at the same time, admirable effort coming on down from the side of Team Fangs to keep the ball rolling on their side, constantly switching up and bringing out new strategies, and they're growing together as a team. And that's what I really like to see. That's what the Gauntlet series is here for. That's why you're in the group stages. You have a lot of chances. You have a lot of leeway to learn about your opposition team, learn from them, and then use their strategies against them at one point and make yourselves even stronger. But let's head on down over to the group standings. We are going to be talking about this a lot, but here it's going to be the side of Samurai Esports taking it down to a 2-0. And they're going to shoot up directly over to that number 2 position. They're still going to be there 1 point off the number 2 seed. And at this stage, they're pretty much untouchable other than the people of the esports team. And Team Fangs still they're going to be stuck on those 6 points. So, what are your thoughts on the group standings here, Trips?
I really feel like Team Fangs should have had this in the bag. Like there were a couple of instances where they were supposed to win, but they just let it slip. And we already pointed out that this was such an impactful game. If they were able to win this one, then they would have been where I'm sorry, they would have been ahead of both Samurai and the esports team. So it would have been a massive jump, right? Like from the fifth place directly to the third one. That's a that's a big jump, and they let it go. So this high impact match goes in the favor of Samurai Esports, and Team Fangs, they're gonna be kicking themselves.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt quite a lot in the long run. But at the same time, Wayne, what are your thoughts on the group standings before we do end our day off?
Honestly, the same as Chris. Team Fangs, I really wanted them to win this one out because I wanted to see that competition going on. Like, there's already a really good competition, but then Fangs, if they did manage to bring this up, they would have gone all the way up, and Samurai Esports would have been that much scared to maintain their positioning, and they would have had to fight a little more hard. But nonetheless, they did give it up. They did slip up a few times, but at the same time, Fangs is strong enough to maintain that positioning, so I don't really think that they're going to be letting it up anytime soon. But what I'm really concerned about are the last two teams because they're not being able to manage any wins. They're not being able to they're not managing to eke out any wins. I'm sorry. Like Kuchbi, yeah, they've got potential. They've got these stars in their team that can pull off so much, but they've got a long way to go until they can come in as a proper team because that coordination is lacking a little bit. And at the same time, if you keep going on with that, you're not going to be able to come into the top part of the leaderboard where you can, just like lock in your position and have a safe day. Because Kuchbi and RG Academy, so much potential, but at the same time, they have to get up their game a little bit.
Yeah, like at this stage, Coach B and RG, they're in a pretty rough spot. But hey, there are still a couple of matches, and there are a couple of chances for them to take that number 5 and number 6 position to try and bring themselves back just a tiny little bit. But at the same time, Team Fangs, they still have that chance to make it into playoff. They're still 1 point off the esports team, and if the esports team slip up even a tiny little bit, they'll lose their position at playoffs if they are not careful. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be all that we have for you today. It was an exciting set of 2 games, one at the 1 p.m., one down at the 8 p.m., and both of them were an absolute thriller and banger of matches. But for now, we're going to be signing on off. But before we do sign on off, make sure to check the links down below in the description of all of the discounts that we have set up for you from our sponsor. And as you are down there, make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified whenever we do go live. But for now, it's going to be me, your boy, Wrestler, joined by Chris and Quinn, signing on off. And we'll be back with you tomorrow with the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WP Black and AMD Ryzen. Good night and happy gaming.
1, 2, 3, let's go.